seconds. The time situation has equalized. Oh, and now Vidit's winning, apparently.
Yeah, knight c4, oh, knight d7, yeah. That was a bad decision by him, yeah, to go knight d5.
Whoa! Rook takes e3, move Vidit!
Wow. Is he queening that pawn?
Oh my god, Vidit's so slow here.
Wow. This is crazy.
Oh, king b5, black wins!
Wow, wow.
Did you see that? If white had promoted, black would have taken the knight and skewered the queen. Whoa,
yeah,
queen.
I saw that.
Oh,
who's gonna win this game?
Vidit's gonna flag. Black still has a pawn.
Wow. Wow.
Fabi's going for the win.
Wait,
but he's gonna lose. What is he doing? Oh,
what is he doing?
He wants to flag him, but he's gonna get checkmated.
What? Wait, no, wait. Yeah, Fabi is black, right? Okay, so Fabi's black, so he's not doing so well now.
But can he hold this position, king b7? He's got to make sure to trade the queens, otherwise he's gonna get mated. Oh!
He's getting mated. Oh man. Oh, he seems so upset. Look at him.
Oh my god.
Oh man, I would be upset too if I did that. Fabi, I feel for you.
I think he might have mouse slipped bishop g6. I'm not sure.
Maybe.
Oh, the knight hangs. c6.
Oh, so passive now, the black pieces.
Look at this. Total devastation. Bishop f7 though. Knight f6 check. Oh, goodbye. Rook e8 mate. Bang.
Beautifully done by Sam Savian.
Why is this winning? Oh,
Can he just go through?
He's going around. King d2. Is he in Zugzwang? Bishop e8 and bishop h5, and he can try to get white in Zugzwang. I don't see it yet. King e3. Oh, bishop takes. He takes it. Wait, is this winning? Takes, king f2, king. It is winning. Takes in g6. No. Yes.
Yes, no?
I got it. King e2, king g2, and g4. You give up one of your pawns, you fix the other one on g5, and you undo Zugzwang.
Oh my, will he play it?
He doesn't even need to do it. It's over. Samuel Sevian is going to win this game. This is unbelievable. Wrong way, Wesley. Should have gone to g6. 4 seconds. King g4. Why did he do that? He was in Zugzwang. Oh my god. Oh, why did he take the pawn? Oh my god. Oh, he blundered the knight. He blundered the knight.
Oh my. Wesley smiling. Savian shaking his head. The same coin, but two very different sides of it. Goodness me, this game. It had it all.
Okay, welcome ladies and gentlemen to the Rapid Chess Championship presented by Coinbase. Today is Saturday. We know what that means. It is the Saturday Swiss. Hope everybody is having a great start to your weekend. I'm Grandmaster Daniel Naroditsky here today alongside me, Grandmaster Irina Krush. Irina, good afternoon, morning. Chess players all day is morning. How are you doing? Are you excited for week 22 of the RCC?
Hi, Danya. I'm super excited. We had a lot of fun commentating last week, and I'm really happy to be back for this 22nd week to see who is going to gain those Grand Prix points to make it into the final. 12 players will be qualifying based on their Grand Prix points into the final that is going to take place at the end of August.
Yeah, that's like less than a month from now. So, ladies and gentlemen, mark your calendars. The Grand Prix standings as they currently are, Hikaru Nakamura ahead by a country mile. He's got 95 points. He is playing today. And the big question, who will make the top 12? Look at Maxim Matlikov, Jose Martinez. Those names that are just outside the top 12 are going to be rearing to go today with only a couple of weeks left to solidify your standing in the top 12. Because, Irina, if we look at the calendar here, the finals are coming right up in less than a month.
Yeah, just a few more events left. For the players to add to those points. I did notice one really interesting thing, that there is only one player that I can see in the top of that leaderboard that has played all 21 events, and that is David Paravion, representing Russia. That's really very stable and consistent player, and he's managed to make it to the knockouts on Sunday in a little bit over a third of his events. So that's a really, really good result from him.
Yeah, it seems like there's two pathways to making the top 12, and consistency is one of them. If you constantly end in the top, even the top 8, you get Grand Prix points. If you're someone like Hikaru Nakamura, you're both consistent and incredibly strong, and Hikaru Nakamura is playing today. He's got the black pieces in round 1 against none other than Sinan Sigurov, very strong Russian Grandmaster. And, we know in the RCC that there are no easy rounds, Irina. I mean, Hikaru's got black against a super strong Grandmaster already.
Oh, he's going for the Caro Khan. So that is a small surprise for me, especially this G6 line. It's not exactly very popular. I guess white can play H3, Knight f3 here. Are those like the typical answers?
Yeah, Sinan is deciding which system to play. Knight f3, h3 is what I was taught when I was a kid. We want to remind you that the time control for the RCC is 10 plus 0. There is no increment on Saturday, so every second is golden, especially against Hikaru Nakamura. And finally, Sinan decides on e5. What do you make of this move?
Interesting. I guess I would expect Hikaru to be playing well, okay, I was going to say expecting him to play f6 quickly, but certainly after h5, he's not going to be playing f6. It just weakens the g6 pawn too much. So yeah, he's going for this knight h6, bishop takes f3, knight f5 plan. But yeah, these positions are definitely known to be more comfortable for white with a really big space advantage.
Yeah, I guess if you watch Hikaru's stream or if you watch his blitz, you'll know that he plays the system religiously. I mean, he's played it for many, many years. And the trippy thing about this system is that the engine always gives +1, always. Like you turn on the engine, it's always +1, +0.9, but the engine still isn't very good in closed positions. And what's interesting here is that Hikaru has managed to lock up the king side by shoving his pawn down at h4. Now, if Sinan tries to expand with g4 at any moment, then Hikaru will en passant, and white will never get the opportunity to push this f-pawn.
Yeah, this h4 move is a really big one. In fact, I was even thinking about playing g4 as white, but Hikaru didn't give him a chance. He just pushed that pawn up, so now the g pawn is fixed, and the knight will be coming to f5. But I guess the residual problem in black's position here is the bishop on g7, right? It's not so easy to make that piece better.
What are you talking about? It's an amazing bishop. It's controlling so many squares.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
amazingly staring into the pawn. And for white, I guess I also took a little bit of a question. What is white's plan here?
Well, in response to black's plan, I think the idea of pushing c5 is something we see Hikaru preparing and Sinan preventing as he pushes his pawn at b4, taking some drastic measures to prevent Hikaru's queenside expansion.
Yeah, wow. I mean, another issue of black's position is what to do with the king, because it looks like that king is not going to be castling anytime soon. It just has to stay in the center. If you castle, your h4 pawn becomes too weak. And knight a4, I think, is an understandable move. And I guess the question is, where is white going with their c pawn? Are they just going to put it on c3 just to defend d4? I would say that is, yeah, more likely than c4, which doesn't really seem to work tactically for now.
Yeah, c4, black plays dc, and then there's a fork with b5. And, what has made me uncomfortable with white in these positions is that you feel like you need a plan. Black can just kind of chill, and Hikaru is really good at that. He does it very fast. And then as white, you start feeling the pressure. I got to do something. I got to open up the position. And your clock starts ticking down as you agonize over how exactly to accomplish your goals. And you can see here already 2 minutes up on the clock is Hikaru Nakamura. That's a big deal.
I've actually just realized his plan. Yeah, I like that bishop f8 move because he's going to go bishop e7 and king f8, king g7, actually securing the king that I was worried that he wasn't going to be able to do. But that seems pretty good. Now, in terms of white's plan, I don't know what the knight on a4 is doing. I'm not sure what the plan for it is. Maybe to go, I mean, I was initially even thinking it would go back to d1 and try to go to e3 and challenge the knight on f5 without giving up the light squared bishop. And he might still wind up doing that.
Yeah, I mean, it's as good of a role as any. What else is the knight going to do? And just really quickly, some people might be wondering, well, why is bishop takes f5 bad? It's not that bad. The problem is just that, giving up control of the light squares is a pretty big deal in a closed position. like this one. You know, you want the bishop in case you're ever going to play c4, and you don't necessarily want to open up the g file for black's rook either. And you were right, Irina, king f8. There
Yeah,
he
you
goes.
know, Danya, I was even thinking if bishop f5 happened, it would have been like a real choice for black what to capture with. Like the g pawn capture, really natural. But I think even the e pawn capture would have made some sense because there's this plan of knight of fate to e6. Yeah, I love how you draw those arrows before I even tell you.
We're totally on the same page about this position. Like every idea you mentioned, I'm like, yep, that I've seen that before. But this knight f8, knight e6 thing, Hikaru is a big fan of it himself. So I think you're right. He might have taken it the e pawn.
Yeah, that would have been interesting because really, when there's two kind of equivalent looking captures, it's interesting what will one player pick, right? When both really have their points. And we see that Sugiyarov did pull that knight back to b2, but he has a rook on d1, so his knight still can't go anywhere.
Yeah, I mean, I'm liking Hikaru's position. The engine's still faithfully giving 0.6, which is totally meaningless. And as Sinan struggles to figure out a plan, maybe we can tour a little bit around the top boards and then come back to Hikaru later, a little bit later on. So we also have Levon Aronian, who faces off against Avital Boruhovsky, Israeli GM, on board 2.
Aronian is playing today. That's very cool to see all these best players in action. So Levon is what color in this game? Is he black?
He's white. He is white. So he's got the bishop pair. He's got a nice position. If you told me you could get these kinds of positions after 12 moves, well, look at the opening, Irina. Bishop c4, knight c6. Nice. Oh, this is the stuff that Levy recommends, I think. Queen g4.
Wow.
This is supposed to be good for white, actually. And then queen drops back to g3. And eventually, Aronian managing to secure the bishop pair.
That's quite nice. Yeah, I mean, at some point he'll be playing f4. I suppose he can actually put it on the board really soon. But black goes f5. He beats him to it. And yeah, now f3, just supporting that pawn. I mean, it feels a little bit passive to play f3, but maybe he wants to go g4, Danya.
G4, and now he has an evacuation route for his queen, if necessary. Now, it's probably not necessary because black isn't going g5 at any moment. You're going to drop the knight. It feels to me that white just has an easier game, like king b1. You have a lot of these improving moves, bishop c1. You know, you could potentially consider c3, d4. Whereas black is just sort of stumbling around. The knights aren't very well placed. I mean, I like Levon's position here.
Yeah, the one thing he's not going to do, he's not going to go g4, actually, because even though it is an idea in the position, after black takes, pawn takes, there's knight f4. And even if the rook wasn't on f8, there would be like a fork with g5 coming up.
Oh.
Yeah, we don't want to allow that. So g4 really doesn't work at the moment, but in the future, it could be an idea. So for this moment, what do we expect white to be playing? Do you think just king b1?
Yeah, king b1, and he plays it. And I think he's just going to, ask Avital politely, what his follow-up is going to be. Because if black plays f4 and locks everything up on the king side, then that frees white up to play more in the center. So I think we're going to see something like bishop c3 or maybe even c3. Or maybe something like bishop c1. A lot of these like slow moves for Levon. He plays bishop c3. He's preparing d4. This is no joke if he plays d4.
Yeah, that's a very powerful plan because as a knight gets to d4, there's e6 square. D4 is going to happen here. It's quite clear, isn't it?
Yeah, Vital allowing it. I think Boruhovsky didn't really consider this to be dangerous, and this is kind of a cold shower. I mean, after ed4, knight d4, white's threatening this move. And if you take, and this is just a horrible position, look at white's bishop. Oh, and you're losing an exchange also. No, this is out of the question.
Yeah, the bishops are so much better than the knights here. I mean, actually, Levon's bishops are beautifully placed for this opening of the position. And I don't see how black holds it. I suppose he can look at a move like g5, right? That's that sort of tactical move and trying to take an e4. I mean, you might want to look in that direction. But yeah, he goes queen b5.
Yeah, now white has to be precise, I think. This queen b5 is kind of a cool defensive move. Hits the knight on e2, which is undefended. Now,
and so if we take on e5, he just takes back with the pawn on e5.
Yeah, and he says, no problem. Okay, we're about to find out. The question is, what is Levon's follow-up going to be? Knight g3. Maybe
Probably
walks into
F4.
F4.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe not what he wants.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's the eval bar giving 2.7, so a pretty overwhelming evaluation.
Yeah, rook AE1 rook HE1 looks a little bit like awkward because I don't know. I feel like I'm setting myself up for a bishop F2 ultimately.
Right.
So I'm not sure I want my rook on that square.
Although on the plus side, if you defend the knight, okay, he plays knight C1, which is a lovely move because the knight is heading out to D3. And the E5 pawn is really weak.
Yes, I like that move. And also, yeah, on G5, you have Queen E1 and you continue protecting the E4 pawn. That's really good.
Levon is making it look so easy. Just the way he's maneuvering his pieces this game. I want to be able to do that. Queen G3 is also possible to induce F4.
Yeah,
I actually think he might play.
That. Yeah, he might think about that because on Queen E1, I mean, okay, they can take on E4, I take, and then maybe there's still no knight G4. So
yeah.
it still looks pretty good. Yeah, it still looks pretty good. Queen E1, but Queen G3 has its points. Mm-hmm.
And he does go Queen E1, and the eval bar remains very, very high. The pawn on E5 is weak. The knight is coming out to D3. White's bishops are strong. This is a bad, bad position for the Israeli Grandmaster. And we will see how Levon converts his big advantage. We also have Fabiano Caruana, who we can take a look at.
Mm-hmm.
Fabiano Caruana. Oh,
let's take a look. So,
and Irina, this is a rematch from their World Cup match where Renat actually knocked Fabiano Caruana out of the World Cup. So Fabi is going to seek revenge.
Position is pretty decent. I mean, they're in an end game. Black has those doubled pawns. White's bishop is not the best. The knight on D1 is in a very strange position for Black. Like it's essentially trapped there. So it's a very, very unusual end game, I would say.
Extremely. A lot of minor pieces dangling around the board. The clock situation is not Renat's friend. He's got below 3 minutes, and the position hasn't really clarified yet at all. The knight isn't really in danger. It can come out to B2. I mean, you can even play knight B2 now.
Yes. I think White wants to go king F1 or bishop F1, it's F4 that he's preparing. All right. Wow. I like that. I do love the improvement of that bishop. And I guess it also protects the G5 pawn so that when Black captures on H4, it's not such a big deal. Fabi's trying to break up that structure.
Yeah, and get his bishop out alive. Okay, E5. So if you take it, yeah, you don't really want to take a pawn like that and allow the bishop back into the game, but do you have a choice?
I almost feel, Danya, we can almost go king F1. I mean, like if king F1, yeah, he didn't. I mean, just king F1, king E2. I'm kind of concerned for the life of that knight.
Ooh, but Fabi doubling back and taking on H4. So he has a much more ambitious idea in mind. He wants to take both of these pawns. Now,
so what if I go king F1? King F1, yeah, bishop G5, king E2. That's been mine.
He does. Oh, and maybe you just kind of grab all the pawns. Bishop G5, king E2, knight takes C5, and then eventually...
I have the B7 pawn, I got B7, I still got an A pawn.
That's true. No, this is uncomfortable for Fabi. This is uncomfortable.
Yeah, Renat is a very good player. I feel like whenever we see his games, like he's always able to put even the best players in the world
always
under some pressure, right?
Always. He's actually a very underrated player, and he's just good against super GMs. He just has this solid, no punches held back kind of style where he doesn't accept bluffs. Like he just calls you out on stuff.
Do you think Black will play knight F2 here, trying to get the knight out to go to D3?
Oh, and then you're saying you can't really take on F2 because of the fork at the end of the line?
Exactly.
Yeah, maybe. Because at this point, Black has limited time because this A pawn is going to rumble up the board. Yeah,
but he's winning the E3 pawn probably. I mean, I don't know, White can play E4, I guess, but I don't know if it's even worth trying to save that pawn. Like, how important is it if you play A4, knight E3, rook A2? I mean,
and he does.
Yeah, depending on that pawn. I mean, I think it's still very interesting because Black's pawns are not so fast, and White has really nice bishops.
Well, Assess would say, right, it's not about the quantity of passed pawns, it's about the quality. And the quality of white's passed pawn is incredibly high. It's just going up to a6. And once it reaches a6, every subsequent square is protected, including a6. So if black wants to do something about it, I mean, you could play knight c4 and then sacrifice your knight for that pawn. But that would make me pretty uncomfortable.
That probably is the plan. I mean, I guess that is what was going to happen. Yeah. And I mean, he's probably not winning here, but I don't think, well, who's trying to play for a win? I don't think black can play. Yeah. You think black is playing for a win?
Only because of the clock. I think knight d3 check, and I don't really see black losing this game.
Yeah.
I mean, you get rid of white's bishop pair, your e7 pawn is nicely protected, but Fabi's going to try to keep pieces on the board. Again, I think exclusively because of white's clock. So
yes.
It's going to be interesting to see how he creates chances here. Ooh.
Yeah. Bishop d2, he let it happen, right?
And now bishop d5 check?
Bishop d5, and what, you got to play e6 or king?
I guess we will. No, he doesn't play it.
King e2, huh?
This position is making me disoriented.
Right.
In the meantime, Levon won, by the way.
Uh-huh.
We have so many games that we can watch every round. We can go back to Hikaru's game.
All right, let's do it.
For a hot second.
He's got the knight on e6. He
called it.
Yeah. We answered that question, which way he was going to take on f5.
He's got the knight on e6. He's got 90 extra seconds, but the position is very, very, very drawish. Yeah, rook b7 check. Hikaru's going to find a way to flag him, I think.
Yeah, I mean, it might be drawish, but it feels more pleasant. Although this rook b5 seems a little annoying. Now he has to play what? Like maybe bishop c1, right?
Yeah, but then there's these tactics with knight takes d4, no? And rook e1 check.
Yeah, that's true.
No, Hikaru's going to squeeze out a win out of this. That's just what he does. F6. There we go. Yeah, that's forcing white to think again. And he's now down to a minute. The point is, if knight takes h4, then f takes c5, and the knight would have been hanging.
Yeah, it's a lot easier to play for black. But what happens on rook d5 is still the threat on the board. It doesn't seem that easy to defend that pawn.
No, it's actually not. Hikaru doesn't defend it. He plays g5. Woo.
Wow.
Spicy.
He wants to go g4, g3 or something like that.
Yeah, but okay, he takes f6. I don't really see the danger here. Sanaa needs to move. I mean, he is just way too slow here.
Yeah. I can just pawn. Yeah. Okay. So he took this way. So g4 is going to happen.
Knight takes h4.
Yeah, sure. Knight h4, and you can't go g3. So he's just kind of.
Oh, fe5. I didn't see that move.
Rook e5. Oh, rook e5, bishop h4 is a check. g3.
You might have to play that anyway.
Yeah, it's still okay, but he has a lot of pawns here.
This is over time-wise, I think.
Every bishop move d4, knight d4.
Knight d4, rook, bishop e6.
He missed that. Okay. Well, actually, yeah, so black is up a piece.
But it still should be a draw with unlimited time. Like 2 pieces against 1 and 2 pawns. You can see the eval bar is like no problem.
Yeah, but practically speaking, with 15 seconds, it's definitely lost.
Yeah, the clock is like, hey, we have a problem. We don't have a problem on the board. We have a problem on the clock. And even knight e7, just trade the knights, flag him.
At g7.
There was a mate in one thread, by the way.
He's trying to set up a mate thread to cost him some time.
And he did. King c7.
Yeah, bishop c. Oh, okay, bishop c7 now.
Hikaru, don't get mated yourself.
Yeah, rook c3. I guess get the king over to like b7. Okay, tries to be tricky.
Good pre-moving by Sinan, but he's just doing it too late.
Yeah, I mean, the position is totally fine. And
whoa,
wow.
Hikaru giving up.
Wow,
the knife. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, it does.
It doesn't matter.
Okay, he even gave up the rook as well. It's pretty funny.
Yeah.
You know what? If he loses the pawn, he might lose. It might be a draw actually. If he loses that pawn, yeah, isn't this a draw?
No. This is a win.
Are you sure?
Positive.
Wait.
Positive.
He can take that knight. Is he gonna
but Hikaru is black. Like Hikaru's winning on time.
Wow. So they count rook versus knight as a win on time, huh?
Oh yeah, no, because it's like people have lost that, even in classical games. So
with help mates, yeah, but it's interesting.
I would argue that rook versus knight, there's actually a drawing technique that needs to be adhered to. Like even if you don't, helpmate, you can still lose that. Oh, and rook versus bishop is being lost right now by Alexander Bortnik. And he loses his first game against Kirill Alexenko. Wow, nice conversion there for Kirill. And David Paravion drawing his game.
This rook endgame. So this is already a draw on the board, right?
This is a draw on the board. I wonder who gave who a draw. Yeah, David. Okay, I guess David was low on time.
Yeah, they were separated by like 2 seconds. Yeah, tough situation for both. So Hikaru wins, Levon wins, Konevets. Remind me who that is?
That is Sam Sevian.
Sam, okay, who won last Saturday's event. Fabiano, who is Mishinik?
That's Serrana, Alexei Serrana.
Right, okay, I know that next one.
you know that name. Yeah, who's Chris Shook?
Yeah, who's that one? Yeah, who's playing under that name? Chess Warrior 7197, who's that?
Abdusatorov.
Oh, nice. So today, now hold on. I think I'm going to impress you with my knowledge here. Like Shield 12. I know this player. Wait, is that Paravion?
No, Paravion's Dropstone.
Right, Dropstone. So Shield. Man, can you give me like 3 players it could be?
Yeah, so it's okay. I'll tell you this. It's either Anton Smirnov from Australia, Shamsuddin Vokidov from Uzbekistan, or Hrant Melkumian.
All right, it's Vohidov then.
It's Vohidov, yeah.
And I think I see a tiny Uzbek flag there.
Yep, you are noticing it correctly. It's funny because all of a sudden I couldn't come up with any Grandmaster names. You know when people ask you for your favorite movie and then you can't come up with anything. Yeah. Okay, so the next round is underway. We've got Hikaru against Eric Hansen on the top board. That's a marquee matchup there if I've ever seen. Are we sure this isn't Paravion's game?
Does he like to play this stuff?
Paravion plays this exclusively in the RCC with white.
Wow. Yes. Okay. So Hikaru is choosing this line for white. Doesn't normally promise very much. I saw this a lot in the Women's Speed Chess Championship between Shuvalova and Tan Zhangyi. And I saw it so much that I got tired of it, Danya. White was never having any advantage.
Right. White never seems to have any advantage in this line. But Eric is taking his time here. This move, Knight A4, is pretty uncommon if we rewind a little bit. Yeah. The main move here, the move that people used to play automatically, is Queen F3.
And A3
and then you would go into this endgame. You would trade on F6, and then you would play Knight A4 to cover the C5 square, which is a weakness. But Knight A4 immediately by Hikaru seems to be quite uncommon, and it's gotten Eric thinking.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, interesting. We don't have to stick on this game. We can come back to it when it's a little bit more juicy, because I think we're all tired of the 4-Knight Scotch.
All right, let's go on to something else. So we have...
How about Grishuk?
Grishuk. Nice. I like that. We have a Slav, and Pankratov chooses a kind of unusual Bishop G4 to H5. What was the move order here, Danya?
It was A4, which is normal, and then Bishop G4.
Oh, instead of Bishop F5. Wow.
Whoa. Yeah, Bishop F5 is the main move, and then E6 is also has a very good reputation. But this walks right into Knight E5. Clearly, he's provoking it. And then drops the bishop to H5.
Yeah, so I'm not really familiar with this. I certainly would never play this as black, Danya. I will reveal a secret. This is not my kind of position as black, giving up the space advantage, getting the bishop shut down on H5.
I wouldn't either, Irina. I'll join in on this secret.
Yeah. Although I did see this one nice game between Levon Aronian and Aronian and Rapport in May, where Rapport did play a line like this, where he gave up the center in exactly this way and managed to get counterplay with F5 later. So
Sounds like poor weight. 96 check.
96, he just blundered that. Right? That's a big.
Pavel, what are you doing?
Yeah, I think Grishuk looks like he's like confused, right? Like
Grishuk is like, what is this part of Pavel's preparation? Like, is this what Leela suggested? I mean, knight d6 check and knight takes b7. Irina, do you remember?
Wow, he didn't do it.
He's still better though. I mean, this bishop is terrible.
Yeah.
I really don't like this line from Pavel.
Wow, I'm amazed that he didn't give the check. I really am.
Check here. Now you don't even need to play knight takes b7.
Yeah,
you also have to move e5.
Yeah, e5, exactly, right. I mean,
this is like winning for white.
Yeah, very strange that he didn't think that was worth doing. I mean, here you can, yeah, bishop d2 looks fine.
Yeah, maybe he thought this was a little too complicated, and he just thinks, well, I'm much better here. So Evolve are still liking white's position, but it took him some time to get to this. Do you remember this? There was a very similar blunder. One time in the World Cup, Nikita Vitugov was playing Yu Yangyi, and it was this crazy Armageddon game where Yu Yangyi blunders like 3 pawns in the opening and then goes on to win.
Yes.
And
that's the one where Vitugov sat at the board without moving for a long time.
Yes, exactly the one. Yeah, and he blundered in a very similar way. I think he pushed a pawn and intercepted his control over a square. So anyways, Queen E7, I mean, okay, if Black can get the rooks to D8 and C8, it's Black's position is very solid here. There are no targets.
Yeah, I see in our chat, Danya, someone says, why does Grishuk look like a character from Prison Break? And I have to say, the orange jumpsuit, does bring that to mind. All right.
Yeah, he is wearing orange. That's true. Well, okay.
Knight a2. So where is this bishop going? I mean, it's going to c5, right? Like, what's he thinking about?
It's going to c5, and so it is. And so Sasha might play king h. Okay, goes b4. So he's trying to force the trade.
Yeah.
This is a pawn sacrifice. I mean, Black could take this. No. This is apparently.
Yeah, rook b1. I guess it's not a real pawn sac.
No. This is terrible. Rook b7 is coming. You actually only have one square for your queen, and you have to walk into this pin.
Yeah.
No, that's not happening. So he takes on d4. He's going to go rook d8, rook c8, and
knight e8, knight e8, f6, bishop f7, e5. That's how he's going to try to get that bishop back into the game.
Ooh, that's a cool regrouping.
Yeah, because there's only so much you can play without that bishop, right? It's only so long your position can take it. But also, I'm not such a fan of this knight on a2. I mean, I guess he needs to get it back into the game pretty soon. But now also, I mean, do you think knight b6 is an idea? Because in general, Black wouldn't mind trading off more pieces, right? He has less space.
Yeah, especially knight b6 would be an idea even here, because if the a file opens up, then the a4 pawn will be under fire. I agree with you in regards to the knight. Like, you can't even really move your knight out to c3 because you drop b4. No, it's this is Black is okay here. I mean, especially compared to what he played in the opening.
Yeah, and also, there we go.
There's that idea, knight e8.
Yeah, and especially on the clock, he's okay. I mean, he's got a couple of minutes advantage, and his position is not deteriorating, right? At least that's what it feels like.
That's a good way of putting it. I mean, he's been worse forever. But sometimes when you're worse forever and your position isn't getting any worse, then the momentum is somehow on your side and your opponent starts getting impatient. So Grishuk expanding on the queen side.
Now, I guess.
Yeah, I like e5 and bishop f7. That's your idea.
Yeah. I don't think Black should be moving any pawns on the queen side. I don't see how the move a6 helps Black. So yes, White has a nice space advantage on the queen side. I love that. I also really like White's queen. I like the knight on c4. I like the way the queen hits the a7 pawn, doesn't let the Black rook come into the game. And that is a problem for Black, because if Black plays a6 to free up the rook, then he also, weakens the b6 square and pawns are going to light squares. So White still has pressure for sure. But I think, for now, Pankratov is kind of handling the clock and the worst position pretty well.
Yeah, and I guess the one thing you have to be careful about when you play e5 is that you do weaken the d5 square. And I think that's why Sasha played rook a b1. He's trying to free up the knight so that the b4 pawn isn't hanging. So we'll keep an eye on this. This is a complicated middle game. White is better. Another guy I wanted to look at was Samuel 7. He's locked in a very interesting struggle against Aryan Tari, who is about to fly off to India to represent Norway at the Chess Olympiad. And someone named Irina will also be playing in the Olympiad, or so I heard.
That's correct, Danya. You heard right.
All right. So that trip is coming up for you.
Leaving on Monday evening.
That's a long journey. Yeah, I don't envy the travel.
Yeah, I'll have to take some good books with me for the airplane.
Are you an airplane reader or are you an airplane watcher?
Oh, there's something else. There's a third option. There's a third option there.
Airplane sleeper.
Yes.
You're an airplane sleeper.
Oh, I am. I'm very much an airplane sleeper.
Yeah, I don't really sleep on. I always, when I fall asleep on a plane, I wake up, and I think, oh, that's so nice. We're probably landing, and then I look at the in-flight map, and we're like over Greenland or something, and there's 6 hours left.
Yeah.
But I hate long flights.
Well, this position is pretty fascinating. Sevian has quite an aggressive looking position there. Oh, actually, well, Tari has an aggressive looking position there. Sevian not so aggressive. I mean, he's kind of getting squeezed on the king side. And I guess the major difference here is white's queen is way better than black's queen. And also I would say the white, the rook on the F file, of course, a lot more impressive. And so, yeah, I mean, I like this position for white. Where is black's counterplay? I suppose, D4, queen D5 dreams, rook C4 dreams, but altogether it seems pretty difficult for black.
Yeah, but I could see Tari's initiative fizzling out. I mean, I guess a big question that you have to answer here is whether you play F6. I mean, F6 would be a very committal move. I was thinking about it. Yeah. The engine hates it. And I guess it's because of something like D4. And then I was thinking of this.
Yeah, then G5.
Yeah, black will throw a check in and then play G5. And no, this is not where the party is at. He goes rook F3. I think the party is on the F file. I like that move a lot more. This is really uncomfortable for Sevian. I mean, the pressure is immense on the F file.
Yeah, that rook F3 move is really nice. I like how it closes up the diagonal to the king and prepares a number of ideas, including rook F1 and maybe even rook H3 at some point. Actually, Danya, now F6 is kind of like a nicer idea because you can go rook H3 instead of queen H3, and then there's no pawn G5 yet.
Okay, I thought this was a good move by Sevian. Apparently it was not.
Rook H3 maybe?
Well, rook AF1 also, it needs to be calculated. So we're going to make these moves on the board really quickly. Yeah. This is not happening. Oh, no, that's also definitely not happening. Queen takes C2, FG check. King H8, for example. And, just takes and takes H6. I mean, it's as simple as that.
That's over, yeah?
It's over, and if you play King G7 here, then you walk into this check, and this is also over. So
you're taking the rook and winning their queen.
Exactly, or I'm taking on H6. So one way or another. And
he does it.
He does it. I think Sam might have overlooked some detail. Maybe he forgot that H6 was hanging at the end of that line.
Yeah, I'm curious. Can you go back for one move? Like what would happen on rook H3? Is it just that, like, is it queen C2? Is that it? Is that what I'm
I think that's it. I think this is also winning. You can play queen E3 here. And attack H6, attack the bishop, and black can't play bishop G5 because of queen takes G5. So I think you're right, Irina. I think rook H3 was also good. No, Sam is losing the grip on this position completely. 25 moves in.
Yeah. Rook F1. So how does he defend that pawn takes G6 threat? Well, he doesn't, right? This is pretty lost.
This is lost. No, he's in huge trouble. Fabi has won his second game against Anton Demchenko. He's got 2 out of 2. In the meantime, we have Hikaru's game that we can look at really quickly. Hrant Melkumian is knocking on the door here, I think, close to defeating Levon Aronian.
Wow.
In round 2 of the RCC.
You know what's funny is, again, we see all that pressure on the F file. It's like
it's a theme.
It's like the Tari game.
It's a theme, and we also have the skewer on the rook, or the pin rather on the rook. Again, I'm confusing pin and skewer, but
So he's not getting out of it, and then we're going to be taking on f6. And if you take on f3, then f7 becomes really weak. And so somehow your d pawns are not really going anywhere here. You know,
I think you're
knights
lost.
move, yeah, knights. That's a problem. Okay, queen c4. So don't we just take on c6?
Rook. Yeah, you take the rook.
And then doesn't that just totally win? How's that not completely winning?
Take the rook.
Oh,
No. Black rook f3, queen f3, and then f7 hangs, and if rook c6, then rook f7.
Right.
Oh, but here, black has some move. Oh, queen c1.
Oh, that's nasty.
That is evil by Levon. Look at him. And then the point is, after rook c1, rook c1,
rook c2. Wow.
There's rook c2 at the end, winning the queen back and winning the game. So
that is such a
sees
trick.
Hrant sees it.
He sees it, so he's not taken. He's not taking an f7. So what?
I would imagine that he moves his bishop. I would imagine that he plays bishop d2.
Yeah, that bishop d2 is a solid move, right? Because it can come out to b4. It has an outpost there.
Let's wait for him. Oh, and Hikaru, by the way, Hikaru has a really interesting.
I think this is going to be interesting. Yeah, it's actually.
Yeah, let's wait for Hrant's move.
Because, I mean, he probably knows that Levon is a very tricky player, right? That's what Levon is known for. Yeah.
Yeah, and these two know each other well. He goes bishop g5, so he does move the bishop. He doesn't move it to d2. He allows the trade, and I guess he thinks the trade is good for him. It certainly looks good for white, because the rook can also come to f6 later.
Yeah, I thought about this move, right? So, I mean, I guess you're going to be taking it. Because then on h7, like, what else is it doing? So you take, and should you play like rook c7 and just kind of over defend f7?
I think you have to there, but rook c7, rook f6 was a problem. He plays rook c7 immediately, which Hrant follows up with queen d2, blockading the pawn, attacking d3.
Nice.
I think slowly but surely white is making
some progress.
Improvements to his position, yeah.
He needs to activate something to win. So is it queen a5? Is there some big move like that, trying to get into d8?
By the way, Grishuk drawing his game, the one that we were looking at earlier.
Okay.
So now we have an end game. White is still up in exchange. Black has got a pawn for it.
It's not so clear, right? Because, I mean, well, knight f6, he wants to go. He wants to improve that knight. Knight f6 here. Okay.
Yeah, knight f6, try to get it to g4. No, this is totally a game. Oh, yeah. But knight f6, there's rook. Is there rook df3?
Oh, yeah, that's a good move.
And then
so
f7
now he's preparing it. But now rook df3 will happen anyway. He definitely will. Oh, no. It goes rook d2. Okay.
Yeah, by the way, Eric Hansen blundering his queen.
I'm not sure what rook d2 did, because now on rook f2, knight f6, but I guess you're pinned, right? That's the thing. You're not really threatening the e4 pawn. So he made him play f6, which is kind of undesirable, because now the knight in h7 is trapped in.
Can I do a 3-second detour, and then we'll go back to this game?
Oh, yeah.
In Hikaru's game, we saw the following tactic. Rook e8, hg6, and rook h8 with a deflection. Nasty stuff by Hikaru Nakamura. He defeats Eric Hansen. He just outplayed him in that position. Back we go to Hrant's game, because this is our most, I think, our likeliest upset in round 2. The time situation, also not Levon's friend.
Yeah, he's okay. 25 seconds down on the clock. And he's down now a pure exchange as white won that pawn. So the knight on g6 is restricted. Yeah, knight d7. And will we be seeing h5? Actually, it's a move, yeah, you'd want to look at. Knight h8, so go to f7. And are you... Okay, knight f7. Knight f7, knight g5. That's your idea.
Okay, so
maybe g4, g5.
Oh, yeah. No, this is getting worse and worse for black. He hasn't managed to activate his knights at all. Yeah, here goes g4. Knight f7, just in time to stop g5. Okay, he goes rook e6. I guess... Oh, g5 anyway.
Nice.
Oh, what a nasty move. Rook e7, there's gf. You have to give your knight away.
And if you take it, you're probably going to get mated pretty quickly. Okay.
Good pre-move.
Bishop g5, yeah.
It's over. No, this is hope. Oh, Rook F7.
Rook F7 just wins. Yeah, the piece.
Rook F7 is 1-0. He plays it. And Hrant Melkumian crushes Levon Aroni. I mean, you could argue the game was close, but I mean, that was a convincing win for the Armenian Grandmaster. We have a couple of games still remaining. Lê Quang Lim, Vietnamese #1, is struggling against GM Prithu Gupta. Wait, what?
He's got a lot more time.
Oh my god, E5 was just hanging. No, but Gupta is killing himself on the clock. What is he doing?
Yeah.
He took 7 seconds there. I don't understand why players just don't move sometimes.
Yeah, I don't think Lê Quang is going to be resigning this.
No.
Yeah, I mean,
this is resignable for Black.
On the board. Yeah.
This is resignable for Black. There's no way he's making his moves in time.
Yeah.
Now this is 3 seconds. That's it.
It's unfortunate.
It really is. It's unfortunate when you outplay a really strong player.
Yeah.
But it takes you a long time to do it.
And then they're forced to flag you,
Yeah, but it's part of it, it's part of the fun. We've got this game is over. We have Arseny Nestorov losing his game. Oh, Big Fish 1995 is still playing against Clemente Sichev, and Fedoseev losing game 1 and about to lose game 2. Oh, or maybe not.
So Fedoseev
swindle him.
20 seconds and he's down a piece. Yeah, he's down a piece. So he's definitely not doing great here.
Oh, Rook F1. Rook F1.
Yeah. Okay, Rook F2. Take the pawn.
Oh, God, Clemente's way too slow. He needs to pre-move.
Yeah, maybe he doesn't know about that.
Okay, there we go.
He seems to be doing some of that now. All right.
Finally, but it's too.
But his knight. Yeah, his knight. Wow, 3.5 seconds. So little. Yeah.
Oh. Should I say withdrawing his rook in time and a fork?
Wow.
Take his pawns.
Oh,
he's gonna have a pawn.
Oh,
Whoa. Fedoseev makes it just in time.
The lucky guy. Yeah, he's kind of like, he knows how lucky that was.
What a goon. Oh, and he wins. And we have Vahap Sanal, who has just defeated Amin Tabatabai. And all these GMs have 0 out of 1. Like, they've lost their first game, and what a swamp, what a Grandmaster swamp we have here today in the RCC.
So let's see who's on perfect score. We got 5 perfect scores, or is that, no, that's more than that.
6, 7, I think.
7, yeah. 2 out of 2 by Hikaru. Mishanik is Sarana. Then we got Shield Vohidov, Hrant Melkumian, Fabiano, Chess Warrior. Remind me who that is again?
That's Noterbeck.
Noterbeck and Lê Quang Lim. So lots of stars on 2 out of 2. Now, wait, why does it say that Artie Tarian has 1.5 out of 2? Did he draw his first game?
No,
Did he not beat Sam? I thought he beat Sam. We were looking, wasn't he just beating Sam?
Yeah, he was crushing Sam. Let me, I'll check. Aryan Tari, let's see.
Oh, you know who I see up there?
Sam. He drew with Sam.
Incredible.
He drew with Sam. Yeah, apparently after G takes F5, he's completely winning. If he just plays Rook H3, it's over. Your move, Irina. But he automatically took, and he allowed Sam to somehow get out of it. Unbelievable. Wow. Unbelievable.
I also see Tiger in the hat.
Oh, yeah. So you got
1.5 out of 2. Yeah.
People really struggle with that account name. Yeah.
Yeah. Yesterday, he qualified for the Global Chess Championships out of the chess.com play-in qualifier. And he missed the first round because he was, I guess, of his commitments in Beale. And he had to make it to the closing ceremony in time. And he was still stuck playing a playoff against David Anton Guijaro, which he won pretty quickly and basically just made it just in time.
Wow.
Yeah.
Very nice.
So I have to say, I'm always looking to see how my fellow Brooklynite is doing, although he doesn't live in Brooklyn anymore.
All right. Okay. Yeah, Gata is still unbelievably strong, and he will be for his entire life. A player like that, never loses his class.
Yeah.
We have Noterbeck against Hikaru on board 1, but let's watch somebody we haven't watched before. There's Alexis Varana, who has the black pieces against Hrant Melkumian. Which game catches your eye? We've got Serrano Melkumian, Hikaru against Abdusatorov, and then we have Fabiano against Vokidov.
Oh, definitely Hikaru against Abdusatorov, the young world rapid chess champion.
Okay, let's go back to this game, and we have a Italian that looks like a Rui Lopez. Ooh, Hikaru with the early threat of trapping. Oh, b5, b4. Okay. That's actually kind of cool.
So he played c6. That's logical. So that knight, how's it coming back into the game? Like, why is it on a4 to begin with? Actually, I don't know. I have to wonder why that knight is there.
He put it there, but then he didn't take the bishop that he was supposed to capture on b6, and now he's probably regretting it. How is Hikaru already better in like 10 moves in an Italian with black?
Yeah, it's because of the knight on a4, completely misplaced. I mean, that's what I mean. In this position, the knight should be somewhere on d2 or f1 at this point. I mean, it didn't get the bishop, and yeah, c4, sure. C4, does he want to go like d4 next, I suppose?
The funny thing is this is almost a structure that arises with colors reversed. Like generally see black with the sort of Chigorin pawn structure. Here it's white, and Noterbeck is a bad position. I mean, bishop on c2, the knight on a4. If he plays bishop b2, Hikaru could drive this pawn all the way down to d4. Try surviving this position against Nakamura. The knight's coming into f4. Ugh.
Well, Danya, show me a good white piece in this position.
Right. Yeah. Oh my gosh. He takes with the e-pawn and goes back to c3. Kind of an interesting way of responding to d5. Okay. Yeah. I can get behind this.
Yeah, this kind of looks familiar, but like this type of structure, but with opposite colors, right? Where black is usually, black would be having this type of structure with this d3, c4 pawns. Yeah, it looks like very comfortable for Hikaru. Bishop on c2 is passive, space advantage for black, nicely positioned knights. So I definitely don't think that white has implemented any kind of strategy in this game.
No, you can't get a position like this against Hikaru out of the opening with white. You just can't. He's going to punish you for it again and again. And Noterbeck, uncharacteristically. Yeah, d4 looks very tempting.
It does,
I guess he wants to swing the knight around to g3 maybe, get some counterplay going on the queen side with c5.
Knight f4 is tempting.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, knight f4 in this position? Yep.
Right here. I mean, actually, what happens on knight f4? I mean, I'd be seriously uncomfortable if my opponent played knight f4.
I would as well, and I'm sure Noterbeck will if Hikaru plays it. Knight takes d5 here, I guess. Oh, but now just knight d5 cd, and I guess queen d5. Yeah. No, look at this position.
Bishop b3, queen d3, right? But there's the e5 pawn. Maybe bishop b3 here.
Yeah, maybe that's why the Evolvar is complaining so much about my play. I guess in this position, black should play like queen f6, queen g6 or something, and just forget about the d5 pawn. Yeah,
is this a position on the board, Danya, or? Oh,
no, that was exploring that. Hikaru is still thinking after bishop b2.
Yeah, I mean,
I think that's what he's thinking about.
Yeah, d4, I guess where else can this knight go? If it goes to b5, your bishop has to go to b8, but then you play a6. Huh.
Right,
d4,
that's the problem. He goes a6 immediately.
Okay, so he definitely wants to play d4. I mean, that's kind of what his move is saying, isn't it?
And he was worried about knight b5, which is the other thing that his move is saying.
Yeah.
Which I wasn't
a little surprising.
Reason to worry, but
yeah.
Anyways, he improves his position and tosses the ball back in Noterbeck's court. Now, Noterbeck has a decision to make. He needs to decide whether he's taking on d5 or if he's keeping the tension. Hard decision to make.
Yeah, it's tempting in a way to take on d5, try to trade off some things, open up some diagonals, like for your bishops. But at the same time, the d3 pawn is really exposed as a weakness if you do that. So like pawn d5, knight d5. Yeah, I'm having a hard time seeing how white doesn't ultimately wind up losing this pawn in the process.
Yeah, this threat of knight f4 is just looming over white's position. It can come at the least convenient moment. No, I mean, I think practically speaking, white's position is even worse than than the eval bar might have us believe. Yeah. This is bad. This is just bad. It's just bad. And Hikaru is going to continue nursing his advantage. Okay, Fabi has a really boring position. We don't even have to go there. Mishanic. Ooh, Mishanic is doing really well against Hrant.
This is interesting. This must have been some kind of Sicilian.
No, this was a Reti, actually. I know why you think so.
A Reti without even a pawn on G3? Like how?
Let's take a look.
Oh, it's this type of, wow, okay.
So that's how we got the structure. Okay, so that's how we got that pawn triangle.
Yeah, it really looks like much more of a Sicilian, but I guess, I mean, especially with the white pawn on E4, right? Could have been a Sicilian.
Alexei is so scary in this format because he's so good at creating pressure, at putting pressure out of the opening. And he's already better. I mean, white's position just looks ugly here. That's the word for it.
Yeah, white doesn't have much of a center. The knight on D2 is passive. Bishop on C1 is passive. And he has to also pay attention to the G3 square. Actually, you know that knight G3 and bishop H5 is an idea in these positions, Danya?
Wow. That's really interesting. I'll show that. Like, for example, if white plays a random move, knight G3, you can't take the knight because of the pin. And if rook F1, whoop, bishop H5. The queen is literally trapped here. It's not even about the pin.
Yeah, I thought it was just about the pin, but yeah, it's even better than that.
Good call. That's one among many ideas. And if white says, okay, no problem, let me move the rook away first, that doesn't work either because you're going to drop the F2 pawn with check. Bishop B1. Yeah. Wait, he missed it.
Yeah, it's going to happen.
It's going to happen.
But there is queen D3, but then there probably is something there. There's queen. Oh, after bishop D1, your queen protects checkmate on.
Oh, wow. Knight G3 wins the game here. And another amazing detail, Irina. If white says, okay, I'll take on G6 first. No, you won't, because black takes with the F1 and opens up the attack on the knight. And Alexei, without any hesitation, has stuck his knight on G3. It's over. I mean, this ends the game. Wow. That is very impressive. I'm impressed you saw that idea. Have you seen this theme before?
Nope. It's kind of unusual. I've never seen anything like it. Like a knight on G3 pinning and the bishop coming. Like two pins like that in a row. I've never seen that. But I mean, black's position is so powerful that he put that on the board. Yeah.
Every piece is on the right place. Knight G3 is on the board. Hrant Mokulian realizing the hopelessness of his situation. His queen is not trapped in that line. I can show this on the board. Rook F1, bishop H5, queen D3. He says, oh, I'm threatening mate. Not anymore. Queen defends H7, queen defends G3. Okay,
the bishop on C5 is amazing, isn't it?
Incredibly powerful and uncontested. Like you want to put a bishop on E3, but you can't because of your knight. And your knight is paralyzed.
I always tell my students, like bishops that point at the opponent's king unrestricted are the most powerful. So gotta watch out for that.
Honestly, the cooperation between black's pieces here is really beautiful. The way the black's pieces are just all pointed at the king and all combining to create attacking chances. Chess is such a beautiful game sometimes. Bishop H5, here it is. All right, hello. He's just double checking, making sure that it works out. There it is.
Yeah, so Serrano's going to take this game, yeah?
Serrano's going to take the game, and Fabiano Caruana is going to take his game as well. Something horrendous has transpired to Shamsuddin. Wait, what?
Time to... oh, wait, there's a queen on the board in F1.
Yeah, well, they had this position. I was like, this is probably going to be a draw. Oh, my lands. Oh, okay, so Akitov a little bit uncomfortable here, but a horrible blunder, allowing Fabi's queen to infiltrate C2 and just wreak havoc on white's position. And
back rank.
Oh, this is just disaster. Okay, and Fabi's completely winning.
Yeah, rook in two pieces versus two rooks, and black also has the beautiful D4 outpost for his pieces. Yeah, so the rooks don't have a chance.
Crazy how quickly the game turns. Like, it was equal, it was symmetrical.
Yeah, letting in that queen in, right? That queen was like such an infiltrator. You could see, you just couldn't get her out, right?
Once queen C2 happens, once a move like that is played, you just know it's over. You just know it's the game's done. Okay, so
What
Fabi's
else
gonna win
do
this,
we have?
obviously. What else do we have? We have Hikaru's game, who is the last out of the perfect score players. Oh, Lekwang Lim is also on a perfect score.
How about Gata? Is he still playing or?
Gada is still playing. Let's take a look
Oh,
at
let's
his
take
game.
a look.
And he is also streaming, so you
Very cool. Yeah.
not that anybody
Alrighty.
would ever not want to listen to our commentary, but
Yeah. So he's black, and his games always look like interesting, like strategic pictures, I would say. So what do we have right here? It's 3, 6, 7. Material is even. He's playing Brandon Jacobson, who's a young.
he blooded a rook! He blooded the rook!
Oops. Forgot about that. Yeah.
Oh my god, Brandon.
As I was planning to explain the strategic nature of the position, I think it was like really bad timing by Jacobson to just give away a rook.
Oh my god. Rook d4, blundering the rook, and a shocked Brandon Jacobson is probably sitting there saying, did I really just do that? Did this actually just happen?
Yeah, I mean, because a knight on d6 is an interesting outpost there. But yeah, Gata beating his fellow American, Brandon Jacobson, who was just playing the U.S. Junior Championships.
Yeah, this is over. We can
Switch
to the different game. We were about to talk strategy and, what's going on. Okay, in the meantime, Cromwell Kumian, he's trying to recover from that devastating knight g3 move and probably not succeeding.
Yeah, he basically is not only down in exchange, but his position looks bad too.
Yeah, I mean, I think Alexei will grind this one out. Hikaru is up a pawn. He's now up 2 pawns against Noterbeck. And Noterbeck is trying to survive this position, and I don't think he will. Hikaru's just too good. Yeah,
the time situation is comparable, at least for Noterbeck. But okay, so what does Black want to play here, Danya? Is it Queen b6 that he's interested in? No, Queen b6 blunders, they have 7 pawns. I don't think he wants to necessarily give up that pawn. Is it Rook b6? Yeah, it's Rook b6, isn't it?
Yeah, Rook b6 and then Rook takes e4. And...
yeah.
Okay, you could force a queen endgame if you wanted. You could play Rook takes b6, Rook takes e4. Wait, no, it's white to move.
Yeah, I'm just
but I guess we're saying what's the threat.
What is the threat? Yeah, what does Black want? Maybe Black wants a4 as well.
True, just pushing the pawn.
But then there's b7, right? Then there's b7. We trade pawns. I don't think Black wants that. If he
no, Black does not want 4-on-3 on the same side of the board. You want to keep your a pawn if you're Hikaru. Yes. Well, he plays a4, but it's because the queen has lost contact with the square.
Yes. And now on, say, something like Queen a5. What's the plan there? Queen b6. Yes, we can show that because that's quite nice. I think that's an instructive line.
Yeah, and if you take, then Black takes and puts the rook behind the pawn.
Yeah, that's it. That's a nice.
If you go for this line, say, okay, I have drawing chances. Like, you don't, because rook a6, a3, a2, and your rook is going to be fully tied down to the pawn. In the game, b7, rook takes b7, and rook takes e4 is Noterbeck's choice. And now Hikaru with this devastating passer. Rook a7 here seems logical to me. Oh,
wow.
That's the top move.
Wow. So Hikaru is going for a queen endgame. He's confident that he can queen that a pawn. And Noterbeck is not even interested in that. He just goes queen e8. Okay. I guess he still needs some technique here, right? Because there's rook g4. Or
a3. Yeah. I think a3 might win the game.
a3, rook g4. Okay, rook a4. Now he needs to remember about his rook.
Yeah, you don't want to play like a2 here or something, because if rook takes a2.
Or a2, yes.
Queen
b5, queen there was queen b1.
Yeah, and then queen f1, but so I think that worked too.
Yeah.
Okay, check f4. Check was apparently not the best.
But it kind of looks nice because it weakens White's position, right? So it's like very tempting.
It does. But somehow Noterbeck does have the rook behind the pawn, which is a good thing. The f7 pawn is hanging, and I don't think that's a pawn Black wants to give away.
Yeah.
Queen b6 going to g1 maybe? No, but then rook takes a3.
Yeah. Queen e4 is an idea, by the way, by White. He needs to watch out for that.
Not so easy to find a move. Apparently, the only move that preserves a winning advantage is rook to b3, which gets out of, it makes sense. It gets out of the fork and it defends the pawn, but that is a hard move to play. That is just a hard move to find. Uh-oh. That wasn't it. That was not it. Yeah, that's a good move by Noterbeck. He's going to pull out a draw, I think.
Oh, wow.
Or is he?
I mean, it's still not so simple for white.
And apparently
why is this
that's
completely
losing.
It's why
G5.
not obvious why it's like that losing, right? E6 now?
E6,
King
King
G6?
G6.
King G6 and
then E7, I don't know.
yeah.
Noterbeck
And then try to keep the rook on
draws.
A7, right? Defending that pawn. Okay. So what happens now on E6?
Look at that eval bar. It's just swinging every move.
Yeah.
G4. Now, Hikaru's going to win this. He always does.
So white can't improve the king any further. Can't do anything with the pawns.
I think there's going to be some sort of a Zugzwang situation. I'm not sure exactly where.
Well, G4 should happen somewhere, yes.
And so it does.
Then G4, G3, you want to lock up that king. Put him in a mating net. That's good. There you go. Now that king is, well, it's not quite a mating net, but it's uncomfortable for the white king.
Oh, it is Zugzwang, actually, because the problem is just that white has to move the rook, and then that allows the black king to make progress, right? Eventually, black's king wants to reach B2.
Yeah.
So king D7.
Right. That's it. He's getting close to that.
This is easy. And Noterbeck, he had his chances there at the end.
Yeah.
Just unable to find the accurate sequence. Oh, king E8. Oh, triangulation. This is cool.
That's pretty tricky by Hikaru. Yeah, to find that all so quickly. Yeah.
Yeah, but he's not going to actually succeed with the triangulation.
King.
Okay, rook B3.
Why couldn't he just put the
B2.
king on B7 and just make the rook move and move up the king the other way?
Yeah, that was possible too. This is winning though anyway, because you're promoting one of the pawns. Wow.
Yeah.
Good stuff by Hikaru. Alexander Grishuk is on their path to defeating Jose Ibarra. He's going to have 2.5 out of 3 is Sasha Grishuk. Okay. And then we have Eric Hansen, who is going to lose the second game in a row to Prith Gupta.
Wow. And who is Prith Gupta?
Grandmaster from India.
Oh, wow.
I think a pretty new grandmaster.
I see. So he's not really a 2049 rated.
No. That is false. That is fake news.
Yeah. A6. Right. I was going to be like, why can't you just win that night?
Yeah, with checkmate to follow. And Eric resigns, and he's no longer 2000. He's 2252.
He's climbing up. Today he might become a grandmaster rating.
Alexander Rustemov, in the meantime, trying to actually, the old guy is flagging the young guy. No,
wow.
I can guarantee you, Christopher Yu is going to win this game on time.
Really?
Yeah, just watch.
So he's got 9.8 against 20.
Yeah.
Now, at this point, do we still play chess, or do we just try to play quickly, Danya? What's the strategy?
Well, you still play chess. Now you start pre-moving every move. Now you pre-move every move.
All right, so he's got 5 seconds. Looks pretty good for him, but he's going to put the knight on H7, right? Oh.
Yeah, but Christopher is a very skilled bullet player. He's not, the best, but he's very good. And there we go. Yeah, he's already up on time.
But it still doesn't mean he's going to win. Well, I don't know. 3.9 seconds. It seems like pretty difficult.
Plenty. Rustemov flags.
Oh wow! All right, good call on that.
I've just seen these situations occur before when an older player has like 20 seconds and the younger player has 9.
Yeah.
It seems like a big time gap, but if you're not pre-moving, then that time advantage is going to evaporate really quickly. Okay, so 3 rounds are in the books, ladies and gentlemen. We are going to go on a slightly longer break to give the players and ourselves a little breather. When we come back, the Rapid Chess Championship Week 22 returns. You're watching the Saturday Swiss of the RCC presented by Coinbase, and we will be back with round 4 in just a couple of moments.
Have to play on, and we see Vladislav Kovalev taking his time here. What is he gonna do? Okay, there was queen h5 maybe possible. There's
no threat of checkmate. Threat of checkmate on the back rank.
Blue check marks. Everybody loves blue check marks. Chess.com is excited to launch its own blue check mark today with our verified members program. And for the first time, for any online platform anywhere, there will be a transparent and clear process to how you become verified and get that blue check mark. Any Chess.com member can become verified by having their account linked to a real identity with a unique payment form and SMS held privately in their profile. Most importantly, applicants must pass a comprehensive fair play screening in order to get verified. All right, but besides the blue check mark, why should you become verified? First and foremost, all verified players are eligible to play in the Chess.com Global Championship. With $1 million in prizes, including regular cash prizes for non-titled members, this massive and historic event has but one cost of entry: your $15 verification fee in order to become verified. Additionally, other verified benefits will include access to regular verified-only events, listing on verified-only leaderboards, priority pairings against other verified-only members, and more. To learn more about how to become verified, if you're watching this during one of our live shows, use the command verified in chat, or if you're watching it anywhere else, go to chess.com/verified today and go get that beautiful butterfly. Blue check mark. What is going on here? Hey, Elon. Yeah, no, you saw the news. I know you like buying companies with blue check marks, but we're not for sale. Dude, do you even know how to move the pieces? All right. We're going to get back to this later. I got to record a video. Thanks, buddy. Elon.
Welcome back to the Rapid Chess Championship presented by Coinbase, and round 4 games are underway. We've got three players with a perfect score: Hikaru Nakamura, Alexei Sarana, and Fabiano Caruana. We were robbed, Irina, of a Hikaru-Fabiano matchup by the pairings. Hikaru is playing Sarana.
Yeah, we're also kind of robbed of the matchup between Caruana and Grishuk, if you know what I mean, Danya.
Oh, yeah, that would have been awesome.
No, we have the matchup, and just take a look at the position.
Let's see.
You'll see what I'm talking about there.
Oh my God, what already?
How did they manage to trade off all the pieces in like
round literally
1 minute?
Just started.
Yeah.
It was a French, so it wasn't one of those okay, well, they traded everything here, then they traded everything else here. Wow. Okay, so that was
very impressive trades.
Oh my God, I don't think I've ever seen people trading quite that furiously out of the opening.
I guess they really want to practice those pawn end games. And by the way, there is play in this pawn end game because both sides have their pawn majorities. But I don't expect that a super GM will be losing this for either side.
Yeah, it's just going to lead to a situation where the position is locked up, I suppose, and neither side can really make progress. One thing that could, go ahead.
I was going to say, do you think Black would be playing pawn to B6? I was even thinking, about pawn b6 somewhere around here.
Yeah, maybe. And
Pawn g6 he'll probably play.
G6, and the problem is if white overpresses and plays like C5, this is already a very bad move because it gives the black king very important center position. So you don't want to push the C pawn. You want to just stay put. And both sides are going to end up staying put. Black has the same thing. If black plays E4, then he weakens the dark squares and gives the white king a pathway forward toward the center.
Yep.
Yeah. So this
maybe
is going to be the draw.
Yeah, maybe we go to slightly more interesting position. I'm looking around and
Hikaru is already almost winning.
Yeah, he seems to be doing pretty well out of something that looks like it was a Catalan, right?
It was a Catalan. Or no, it was not a Catalan, actually.
No,
it was a Queen's Gambit accepted.
Oh, Queen A4.
A6, B4. Ooh. Okay, preventing C5. And then he played G3. So that's how we got the Catalan vibe.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like white has wasted a lot of tempi, but in the end, he manages to get like a good position.
Well, because we're talking about Hikaru here. So anyways, they went on from this point, and now they have this position. And the pawn on C7 is hanging, and Hikaru takes on A5 instead. Okay.
So he's basically on rook B7. He's just going to have a much better endgame where he's probably going to win the B5 pawn and the extra center pawn. Yeah, it's gonna have its say.
And Alexei +5 is the he allowed A6. Oh, what is he doing? Oh my God, that was a horrible move. He needed to take B7.
Yeah, actually look at him. He doesn't look very happy.
He just
did like this, like
it resigns.
Horror. Wow.
That's it. The game is over. The game is
all right.
over.
I got an interesting one for us. How about Sugirov versus Andreikin?
Absolutely.
This is pretty high up, and Sugirov is actually quite behind on the clock, but they do have a nicely unbalanced position there.
Okay, I have found it.
It looks like it was a Sicilian. I don't know. Did I finally guess the opening right, Danya?
And I think you did. This was the Taimanov. Now Andreikin with 1.5 out of 3, which is rare, and that doesn't mean he's out of the tournament. I mean, if he wins a couple, he's right back into it.
Yeah, actually, I rather like his position. Okay, the knight on D3 is fine, but the bishop on C2 is pretty passive and not any clear way to improve it. And black is actually, I do see like long-term play on the king side for black because his bishop points there, although I wouldn't take out of the question the ideas of bishop C6 and A4.
Yeah, you've got potential play on both sides of the board. Another idea that you could try to apply here is, well, rook G8 and G4 would potentially allow white to lock up the king side with F4. So you want to be careful about how you push your pawns on the king side in these types of positions. You don't just want to indiscriminately rush your pawns forward. But look at the clock situation. Andreikin is at 4 minutes. So I'm worrying a lot about Sanan might need to try to break open the queen side with B4. That might be his only active source of counterplay. I
agree. It's actually a good moment for this plan because it tries to improve the bishop, tries to open up some files for his rooks. And before black gets really positioned to attack him on the king side, yeah, I think this plan makes a lot of sense. And possibly he could try to get to black's king at some point in this game because if things open up, the king on F7 is not so safe.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. No question about it. Bishop A6, sort of along the lines of what you proposed. You proposed bishop C6 and A4. He goes bishop A6, which again also sets up A4.
I think he's also trying to just stop B4, Danya. Like B4 can't just play bishop C4.
Absolutely, he is. And that's why Sanan withdraws his knight to B2. But now you can put a rook on
B8. Yeah.
But not rook A B8, because then maybe still B4. Or actually, no, then before AB. That's actually an interesting one. Rook A B8, B4.
Yeah. Take AB. AB, rook B4.
Yeah, rook B4, rook A6, and rook B2 at the end.
Yes. And what? Yes, seems pretty good for black, right?
It seems very good for black. But the issue here is that white can start with bishop takes F5, I think, in order to make sure that the knight is defended. Now this gets very messy, and apparently this is good for white.
Messy is not good for black. Yeah.
No. Black does not want messy.
And he did go rook b8, and then rook b1 happened. Knight f8. Wow. So he didn't play b4, Danya.
No, he did not.
He missed that chance.
No, he did not. And instead, Sinan, I think, is trying to get the knight around to d3. So a very interesting maneuvering game where both sides are kind of posturing for position, trying to prepare themselves for when the position opens up. And there we go. G4 by Sinan.
Wow.
And Hikaru has won his game, by the way, already.
That was fast. Yeah.
As we expected. I mean, wow.
Wow. Okay. So there's a lot of interesting things here. Obviously, white is trying to get the queen to e4, trying to infiltrate. Although, what's funny is even if you do play f4, which I doubt he will do, on queen e4, the queen's not actually threatening to get in anywhere because the knight is controlling all those squares. So
knight is controlling, g6 and h7. But the issue is that if you play f4, then the question becomes, well, I thought the black was attacking on the king side, and all of a sudden it's white. He goes king g7, so he offers up. No, but if white takes on f5, then that rook a b8 move really comes in handy.
Yeah.
Because he takes b3.
Yeah, that's the idea. King g7 is interesting, trying to get out of the way of this e pawn, right? And just kind of generally making the king a bit safer. I was wondering, there weren't any you couldn't do anything active, right? Like knight g6 and knight f4. You just probably didn't have that ability on the previous.
Right.
Yeah. Because I'll take an f5, I'll play queen e4, and then there's the checks, and then queen is going to come to h7. Right. So
logical. Right.
So white is on move here, and black just basically wants to go knight e6, knight f4.
No, this is looking better and better for black, even though the eval bar doesn't seem to believe that things are deteriorating for white. The clock situation is not in Sinan's favor either.
Wow, he's giving up the c4 pawn, Danya.
He is. So
Why
you
in
could
the
take
world?
it now, or
Yeah.
you could take it after rook takes b1. I think he's trying to get the b file.
Trying to get the b file, but I don't see the compensation, but okay.
Well, I think the king is
Yeah.
weak. I think queen g2 and rook b7 is an idea. I actually think Andrejka needs to be very careful here.
I think that was a good move. Yeah, I missed that one. Yeah.
No, I didn't see it either. That's actually a really good move. Because you might say, oh, well, what's the problem? I just take f4. But now queen g2 check, king h8, and rook b7. And apparently black has a move here.
Queen e5? Yeah, you can't do queen e5. No, queen e5. No, that's not. In my mind, the rook was going to e1, Danya, and I had rook e1, rook e2 ideas. Yeah.
I'm trying to figure out why it's not winning for white, because if you move the queen, you get mated. Oh, f3. Oh, and you cut the queen off. If queen takes f3 is no longer threatening mate.
And then where does your queen go after queen takes f3?
I guess queen d8 and queen g5.
That's not so easy. That's not so easy to spot from a distance.
It's a moot point, though. He played queen f7, and Sinan responding with queen g4. And by the way, Grishuk and Caruana still in that pawn end game, and they have significantly less time now.
Yeah.
We could check into that one real fast, maybe.
Sure.
That is, Fabio does still have a perfect score. So this game will determine whether Hikaru will be all alone on 4 out of 4.
It wound up being a lot sharper than I thought it would be. I mean, now if white goes king h4, I mean, I do feel like, I do feel like it's easier to play as white, right? I would take white in this position, Danya.
Yeah, if I had to choose, I agree. Now, the issue, I guess king h4, if you go king e6, then I go king g5.
Sure. And why is
f4. I think f4 draws.
And you always have this e4 idea or something, and you can go king f6.
Well, I think that you're just not able to.
So what if I go c5, Danya?
If you go c5, I take it.
Yeah, I take. And then you're gonna do so.
Okay, they agree to draw.
Yeah.
They decided not to test each other. The draw has been agreed, and that means Hikaru is indeed all alone on 4 out of 4. He will probably end up playing Fabi, though.
But let's go back to the Shigurov game, because that one is really in a sharp phase.
Okay, let's do it. If I find it, that is. Okay, there it is. Whoa! F takes G5, H5 by Dima. Attacking the queen. The queen defends the bishop defends the knight. This entire construction is really... Oh, yo.
Why is bad? Knight G5, I guess?
I think so. Oh, knight G5, queen F4, rook G8. I'm not sure.
Queen F4 is... Oh, there's almost knight H3.
Almost. The knight defends the queen, though. I saw that, too.
Huh. Wait. There's some interesting tactics, but knight G5... Queen F4. How do we make this work? Okay. I mean, I guess we could go knight H3, bishop H3,
bishop D3,
G6, and bishop D3. Maybe you're just winning the end game. Maybe that's what it is. Just knight G5.
I think that's what it is.
Yeah.
That is what it is. Knight G5, Queen F4. This
knight
is not
H3
happening.
And Queen G6, or even
bishop D3. Because anytime you give a check on the G file, I block with my queen, force the queen trade, and the passed pawns decide the game. Oh,
wow.
Dmitry Andreikin with a big chance here to win the game.
Yeah, he's got 4 minutes to find it against 1 minute. So I think he's going to do it.
Plenty of time.
It's very... Well, can we go back for a move? Like, what was he supposed to do on instead of Queen E4?
He was supposed to play...
on H5.
G6 was apparently the only move.
Oh. Keeping the bishop strong and F5.
But okay,
huh?
evaluating this endgame properly is really hard because you're like, okay, black has 2 passers. This is bad, but... Apparently, white has enough activity to make the draw after rook b7 check.
Yeah, maybe we're threatening bishop b6, knight c5 there.
Yeah, something like that. So this game is one of the few remaining games. We've got a couple others, but we can stick to this game for now. Levon Aronian has been scuffling. He won his game just now. So Hrant Mokumian is about to lose his game against Jules Moussard. Oh, and he goes rook g8. Which I thought about, actually. Such a cool looking move. Queen g5, king h8. Try that on for size. And the queen is pinned. What does Sinan do?
Oh, wow. So he doesn't play knight h3, huh?
No, but rook g8 is a really tough move to face as well.
I agree. That's pretty smart. Yeah, your king has... What is he doing? Wait, what?
Oh, knight f4. No, but rook g8. Oh, and beautiful detail. Knight g6, you take it. And white gets mated.
Oh, wow.
Look at that.
That's nice.
Look at that. He goes bishop g6, which is forced. I think actually rook takes g6 here might even work, believe it or not. Oh, or wait. No, you can't play bishop d3. And he king h7. It's over. Because if the knight moves back, black actually forces the queen trade and wins easily.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. Dmitry Andreikin is so good at chess. It's crazy. Queen g7. Force the queen trade, and the pass pawns decide the outcome of the game. This one's going to be a win for Dima.
I've been trying to find another game for us to go to next. There's Martinez Alcantara versus Niemann.
Oh.
Are they still
People always like watching Hans, so I think the chat won't blame us for looking at this game. Hans has just declined a draw, and that is because of his time advantage. The position objectively is definitely drawn. This is a fortress.
Yep.
Or not.
I guess he's a little worse now, but okay, not significantly. He's still got the blockade, but I guess he's going to just try to flag his opponent, yeah?
He's going to try to flag him. The time control is 10+0, ladies and gentlemen. If you're new to the RCC, on Sunday there is a 2-second increment, so the old guys, they have to make it to Sunday. Yeah, Hans is going to grind him down here, I think. Although, you know, bishop takes d6, white is trading pawns. White needs to get to this pawn, though. Knight e2.
Bishop e1, the knight is...
Oh, he gives up b5.
Wait, gave up a knight. Well, he's not gonna win now. Yeah,
this is over.
It's gonna be a draw. Yeah.
Wait a second, but here's the funny thing. White is basically making moves without a pawn move or a capture.
Whoa! He didn't even take it. Like, who's trying to win this?
No, he's not trying to take it because he wants to milk it until they get close to the 50 move rule. Okay, this is a draw, but oh, he blundered the bishop. Oh, that was a discovered check.
Yep, missed that. Then he could have checkmated, but I don't think he would be able to checkmate with bishop and knight in like 20 seconds.
No, but Hans is the one who would have bishop and knight. He has a minute.
Oh, Hans is the one. Oh, okay. Oh,
But I mean, maybe he wouldn't have been able to do it in a minute. Okay, Hans is this is going to be close to a 50 move roll. Very, very close. Oh, King C7 coming. Oh, this actually might be a draw on the board.
because he needs to move his.
Oh, he made it. He made it to A6. Oh. Oh, don't blunder a fork. Don't blunder a fork. Oh!
King
Come on,
B7,
Jose. You
maybe.
can do it. Hans doing everything he can to make threats at the right moments and prevent white from pre-moving. Oh, this has got to be really close. Oh. Oh, he blundered the pawn. Take the pawn. And a draw.
Yeah.
Irina, he could have taken the pawn and that would have been a win. I can't believe Hans missed so many opportunities.
And he had a lot of time. He had a lot of time to find that still. Okay.
And he also blundered the bishop at one point. That is a frustrating game for Hans and a big game for the tournament standings because they both now have 2.5 out of 4, which is a decent score. I mean, that's a pretty good spot. But the only perfect score, if you look at the right side of your screen, is Hikaru Nakamura. We remind you that the top 8 players from today qualify for the Sunday knockout. As it stands, Gatakomsky, he's on 3 out of 4. We should definitely watch him next round.
Yeah.
We can even start with Gata's game, perhaps, and check into Hikaru a little bit later.
So who is Infernal XAM? Who's that?
That is Pavel Pankratov, I believe.
Oh, okay. All right. We got Fedo Save on 3 out of 4. So lots of good players. Do we have the pairings yet?
Do we have the pairings yet? No, we do not. Yeah, there we go. We do. And Caruana Nakamura. I might change what I said about Kamsky.
Yeah. Let's see. Hopefully this is going to be exciting. Hopefully it's not going to. Do they tend to play against each other and not make like these strategic short draws?
Well, here's the thing. Fabi has 3.5 out of 4. So I think Fabi has more of a vested interest in playing.
And
Let's see.
He's white.
No, never mind. I think this is going to be no, rookie 1. He's playing. Fabi is not making the quick draw. Now, rookie 1, right, Irina, is kind of a compromise move. It's incredibly solid. It's what people used to play if they wanted to guarantee a draw against the Berlin.
Right.
But it's a game. Like, it's, there's some room for innovation there.
They have to move the knight out of the way to get a D pawn going, right? Oh, then they put the bishop on D6. That's, I guess C6 is coming. Yeah.
C6, and then you move the bishop and then you play D5.
Yeah.
So the line that was all the rage a couple of years ago is bishop C7. Recently, people have started to play bishop E7. C4. Another move that I've seen recently. You almost get like a Petrov structure.
D4, D5. Oh, they just take? Oh, wow.
Whoa.
So they know this is all theory for them, huh?
They're probably following like 800, 700 games.
Wow. Like, what is this? Like, what? I mean, Fabiano's playing into this like this is all completely normal. I guess, you know what? I guess he's a little bit better, right? Actually.
Imagine Capablanca watching this and getting like a heart attack. Like, they're making 25 moves of theory in an opening I've never seen before. What has chess become?
Yeah, but it's interesting. I mean, like they've traded off so many pieces that you'd think that black is totally fine, but still white has a little bit of an initiative here that black needs to still neutralize.
Yeah, rook A E8 is his attempt at neutralizing it.
Too bad there's no bishop F7 here, right? You just play king F7.
It's close, yeah. If your queen could have reached B3, maybe, but okay, queen E3 he plays. Now, will Hikaru take on E5? I think he might.
Take on E5, pawn takes, queen E7, and well, actually, queen E7, you hang the A7 pawn.
Yeah, so I think you need to play here. You need to play here to attack the bishop. Bishop B3. Bishop B6.
Wow, so you got to take that damage to your pawn structure a little bit, and it's not that bad.
A little bit, but you've got an active queen, and if your rook gets to D8, you're totally fine.
Yeah.
So I think this is, and okay, still bishop B6. I think Hikaru's going to play.
Yeah, bishop E6 is kind of needs to be played, yeah, because otherwise the bishop on C4 is just too strong. The bishop on D7 too passive, so you have to neutralize that. There's really no time for B5. B5 doesn't look like a correct move from black.
Also, oh no, I guess. Oh wait, what am I saying? The rook on E1 hangs.
Yeah, B5.
B5, maybe.
There's E6, which I guess doesn't really lead anywhere. That's just a trade of everything.
Takes. Logical, takes. Yeah, king H8. Maybe a smidge better for white, just because this pawn is a little bit weak, but Hikaru never loses these types of positions anyway. This is going to be a draw. I think it's not really up for debate that this game is very likely.
You know
to
what I think is
draw.
interesting? Let's take a look at Grishuk versus Aronian.
Absolutely. Oh,
Yeah.
and this is really interesting because this was a Berlin, but a sharp Berlin.
Yeah, this is a position where black has the center, black has the bishop pair, but white's got his own advantages as well. White has open A file for the rook, nice pawn on B5, and better development. So
sorry to interrupt you. Grishuk was going for the draw, and Levon said no. He plays D6, which is an old school move. But this is considered a very dangerous line for black. That's why people don't play this anymore.
So basically, black has a hard time getting the king out of the center. Yeah, there's knight G5 coming.
Is black lost? I think black is lost. I think black is just lost.
It's that bad that you're just not solving the problem of the king, yeah?
No, because like you said, Irina, bishop E7. No, sorry, not queen D5. Knight D5.
Knight D5
you
and
cannot
C7.
defend C7. I mean, you have to play this move.
Yeah, I don't think we need to look at that.
We're not talking about that one. Not in this commentary. Yeah.
Yeah.
You want to know what yeah.
I wonder if I can play B6 in that position after king D7. Okay, but he played queen D7.
I was gonna say I think this was but still knight D5. No?
And you have to go king D8. Yeah.
Because of this line. Look at this trick, knight B6.
Yeah, king D8. There's bishop G5.
Yeah, king D8 loses. Bishop G5 and knight takes C5 and rook D1.
This seems really basic, to be honest, for Grishuk.
This is almost resignable. This is a full exchange for no compensation, and black will still be uncastled.
Yep.
Sasha, if Sasha sees knight B6, then he will play knight D5. If he doesn't, he won't play it.
Yeah, but he'll see it. He'll see it because C7
child's play.
Is too obvious of a target for him.
Child's play for Grishuk.
Yeah, I mean, because when you're white, the thing is, that you have to make threats here. You have the initiative, so there you go. So it's on the board. Wow, what an easy game for Grishuk.
Yeah, well, Levon's decision to decline the Berlin draw with black against Sasha, I mean, it's just not a very wise call. It's just not a very wise call. This is not totally over. I mean, if black can get a chance to castle, get the F file, okay, maybe a little something, but I don't see this happening for Levon.
All right, so I got another interesting game we can go to, Danya.
Let's do it. Let's
do Kamsky Fedoseev.
Yes, I was hoping you would say Kamsky.
Yeah. All right, so here we go. We can talk about some strategy here. Like lots of pawns still on the board, very locked position, but Fedoseev, of course, has a space advantage in the center and on the king side, and that's not a boring looking move at all. G4, just trying to initiate the play on the king side. But on the other hand, I can say that white's bishop on H2 looks really good to me, really good defensive piece, and not only defensive, although I see the computer, doesn't really love white's position, and he's just stepping into knight G6 ideas, isn't he?
Yeah, Fedoseev takes on H3. I think Kamsky's point is that if black had played instead knight G6, which is tempting, you might say, well, get the bishop out of E5. There is a tactical trick, takes, and knight takes D5. And if you take the knight, you get pinned by the light-squared bishop. So Vladimir says, okay, I don't need knight G6. I'm just going to ruin white's kingside pawn structure. I'm going to take on H3. Now, Irina, typically the way to meet this is to play G3, right? But Kamsky takes back. Ugh. This is ugly.
Knight G6 still runs into the same tactic that you showed.
Yeah,
right?
but you can play king H8. You can play queen E8. I mean, even F4 should be considered. That's a Fedoseev move.
Whoa, did he just allow that? I mean, is he doing that on purpose? Like bishop F6? What does he want to do on that? He just giving up that pawn to go queen F6.
I think I get it. I think he wants queen F6, and then he wants something like queen H4, and he claims that he has a massive attack against white's king, and he does. I mean, F4 is coming. If you, look at this position.
Yeah,
this is really, really bad.
That's kind of a nice move by Fedosey. Very principled, isn't it?
And Gata doesn't get these kinds of positions with white in the London very often. I mean, geez.
F4. Okay, so after pawn takes, he wants to take with a knight. I think that's, I mean, black is getting the E4 square for his knight. The question is how he's going to utilize it. Is he first going to, he just went straight into it.
Straight into it, indeed.
Doesn't mind the trade on G7 because ultimately when knight takes E4 happens, F takes E4 happens, the light squared bishop opens up. And that becomes a big problem for the H3 pawn.
Huge problem. Another huge problem is that the knight on C3 hangs with a fork.
Yeah, you don't even have time for bishop G7, yeah.
You do not, because knight C3 might say, oh, like a queen C2, you take my rook, I take your rook. No, I don't take your rook, I take your bishop with check. And then I take your other bishop and I'm up a piece. So that's out of the question. And if you can't take on G7, you have to allow black to take on E5 and shatter your pawn structure completely. This is close to lost for white.
I agree. This is not the position I was hoping I would be seeing on the board.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I just thought it would be a little bit of a more competitive game, but this definitely looks like it's over. Let's see what else we got. Well, Bobby versus Hikaru. Yeah, it's still in drawing territory. Okay, so let's take a look at here. Bortnik playing black, and it looks like he's on the attack.
He is killing Hrant Melkumian on the king side here.
Just going, so after, let's say, queen F2, what's the queen E1?
I guess it's just rook G8. Just rook G8, accumulate, and there's all sorts of sacrifices already looming in the air.
And even if you give up the F7 pawn, no.
Rook G7, no problemo.
Yeah. And then you'll eventually take on E2 and maybe sack on G3 or play just knight H5. Yeah.
No, this is over. This is +7, and white cannot move a muscle. Bortnik's Philidor, this clearly came from a Philidor, is incredibly dangerous. He does take on F7, probably more to prevent the other rook from coming to G8 than anything else. But I just thought this was an interesting.
Yeah, so Bortnik is also streaming during the game, right?
He is streaming. Yeah, he's a very active streamer.
Shall we take a look at Serrana and Le Quang Lian? It looks like Serrana is beating him.
Yeah, that's a big game as well. Serrana is beating Le Quang Lian, and after a very disappointing game against Hikaru in the previous round, Alexei Serrana is rebounding with a decisive bishop takes C6. Nice move.
Bishop's G7 takes another.
Look at how many pawns.
Yeah. Few extra pawns there.
4 pawns on the king side and in the center. He's up 2 pawns, and he's just going to push the H pawn forward.
Yeah, that's a pretty good plan. Bishop on that long diagonal is quite good. And what if they go like rook G8? I guess your rook can just.
Oh, king F7.
Yeah, rook G8. Like, where's your rook going to go? I guess it can go to G3.
Oh, rook G8's a tricky move. Yeah, rook G3, I suppose. Because if you go king F7, then there's no doubt that obviously the bishop ending is lost. Okay, so he played rook B8, rook Benjamin 8, and now bishop Benjamin 3 check. But this is all a moot point. White's going to push his pawns.
Yeah, maybe we go to another game, Danya. Yeah, so Caruana Nakamura, that's just going to be a draw. That looks pretty obvious.
Hikaru offered a draw. Wait a minute, Fabi declined it.
Yeah,
okay, but it's a draw.
They'll pretend for a little bit, but
I'm playing for one.
Interesting. Yeah. How about Sevian versus Abdusattorov? I mean,
let's do it. Yeah,
this is on the board
because this game it's over. This is obviously a draw. Sam Sevian. This looks like a Petrov. Yeah, I know which line this came from.
So Noderbeck playing black seems to have like the more weak king on G8, I suppose, but not really a very big deal because his queen on D7 is doing a good job defending everything. Bishop on D6 is also good. So this A4 move, I guess stopping black from going A4, I guess it makes sense.
Yeah, White's got a little bit of pressure here. I mean, there's no question that black is the one on the defensive, even if it's objectively equal. Now, the question for black is whether to take the bishop.
Yeah, take and maybe go like queen F7 as one of the.
Yeah, exactly what I was thinking.
I was thinking about, yeah.
Exactly what I was thinking.
Because you want to activate that queen. Yeah. Okay, so it's heading towards a draw. Yeah, probably he will take, because yeah, he's not going to want to let white take it on c6.
So he takes.
Yes. And how about the interesting game between Tari Aryan and Musard?
And by the way, Hikaru drew. Let's do it. Musard is black against Aryan Tari. Both of these players actually have, well, lots of people are doing well in this tournament. Quietly, Aryan has 3 out of 4, and so does Musard.
Yeah, this position at least looks pretty interesting, although it looks like black has the advantage here with the play on the queen side, although white's queen on c4 is a good piece, keeping things together. And let's see if black is able to break through on the queen side. I guess he didn't want to take the d4 pawn. Oh, bishop a3.
The French grandmaster pulling out all the stops here. And here's the idea. If you drop the rook back to d2, then after dc, you have to take back with the queen and you put yourself into a pin. So a devilish idea by Jules, who is one of the strongest blitz players on the site.
That's a cool move. I mean, is there even a defense to that? Do you have to go b3
Yeah,
or
what do
something
you do?
ugly?
I guess you do have to go b3.
It's a very ugly move. Yeah, it might need to be played.
He plays b4. Ooh.
Yeah, it's kind of similar. So now the question is, we're threatening to take on d4 and take your bishop. So you're gonna have to take on passant, I think.
Yeah, and peasant, and then, and then I guess white plays queen takes c3. Then you play bishop takes b4, and then there's a discovered check on c3 that could happen.
Yeah, I'm saying like the black will probably take on b3 with the pawn.
Oh, you mean en passant?
Like en passant, yeah.
Oh, yeah, because I was thinking DC.
Yeah. I was looking at the other pawn capture.
He does play DC. Oh, but now bishop b2 check. This has to be winning. What is white thinking about? You got to take. It's their only move.
Yeah, so you're losing the exchange. Will he even take it on b4? I mean,
yeah, I don't see why. King b1. He
will.
has to go king b1, I would imagine.
At least making one trick, right? Queen b4, rook d8.
Ooh, yeah. Queen g1 check instantly by Jules Musard. It's not over, though. I mean, white's got active pieces.
Yeah, he still has a threat to the f7 pawn, and the king can hide on a3.
Yeah, this is not over.
Yeah, this is going to be a good finish for us.
Sevian and Abdusattorov drawing their game as we expected. Kamsky and Big Fish are still playing, but let's stick to this game for now. And Grishuk Aronian also locked in a very interesting endgame, but that one probably also going to end in a draw. A lot of draws this round.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so right now it says that white has the advantage. Now, why is that? Is there like f6, rook g3 ideas? I mean...
And the king is as safe as it's been in the last like 10 moves.
Yeah, there you go. Look at that. Because rook g3 and even knight g6 at some points, using that pin, well, it can be an idea.
Even well, not immediately, I guess. But yeah, you're right. Rook g3, rook takes g6 check. Now, the question for the rook is whether it should involve itself via d7 or g3. There's these two different directions.
Yeah. The problem if you go to d7 is that there's the third rank that you're opening up with black queen.
This was
didn't like
not
that
the move.
Didn't like that move at all.
Rook f8 simply?
Yeah, and what was the point of it? Actually, what is the point of it? e5?
e5, but this is
I didn't like
slow.
Yeah, it felt like the knight was really well positioned on e5.
Yeah, maybe Tari kind of panicking. He wasn't sure what to do. Now rook a d8 looks good. Or queen takes h2. Just thank you for the pawn.
Yeah, because what is white really threatening here? He doesn't seem to have any threats.
Nothing. Rook d6, e6, maybe try to shove that through. But whenever you move the rook away from the third rank, you expose yourself to all manner of checks, which can be highly unpleasant.
h5.
Yeah, why not? Push your pawns.
H5.
White has no threats.
Yeah, I don't see what the threat is. I mean, you can't even move your knight now because of this e5 pawn hanging. So, okay. Queen e2 is good.
Apparently, Aronian was completely lost, and he wins. He draws his game against Grishuk.
Oh, wow. Yeah, he wound up drawing that. We abandoned that game a long time ago because we thought it was that obvious.
Yeah, apparently there were some ups and downs, and Fedoseev, as expected, defeating Gatakomsky with the black pieces in a London. An impressive result indeed.
Is Queen E7 not going to work? Are we going to get mated?
Mate.
Oh. That feels unfair. It feels
also Queen D3 check and A3 check
also
could be two intermezzos to work in there.
Yeah, A3 here.
King C1.
Uh-huh.
Wait a second. Wait a second. I would take the knight on D7 almost.
Okay. Yeah, he did.
Because taking the rook would have allowed Queen E7, and Black would have been forced to perpetual.
Rook E7 here, and well, that doesn't really make any threats.
Yeah, probably you have to take on C6 and start pushing your B pawn.
Mm-hmm.
But then Black pushes his H pawn.
Yeah, I think takes on C6. There was also Rook E8, kind of annoying.
Mm-hmm.
Queen E8. Okay, so the checks are going to start.
And so they do.
He needs to get the rook involved. There you go.
And
whoa, is there Rook C8? Is that does that keep you alive?
The problem is the rook could get forked there. Like Rook C8, now there's a fork on E6. Uh-oh. Here we go. Oh, he gets mated. The king did not last long there.
Wow.
Oh, man. And we have a couple of other games still going. You have Prithu Gupta, who has scored some impressive wins in this game. Yeah, and he wins. He loses this game to Bharat Subramanian. And I think that basically is it for round 1.
You mean for
round 5? Round 1.
We're not starting the tournaments all over, are we?
I'm experiencing amnesia. Yeah, the tournament is restarted. The games are not good enough. So the standings, ladies and gentlemen, Fabiano Caruana is on Hikaru Nakamura's tail, but Hikaru still in clear first at 4.5 out of 5. And Fabi is joined by 3 other players, Fedoseev, Jules Moussard, and Alexis Serrana on 4 out of 5. We remember from last week, Irina, that basically like 6.5 out of 9 always qualifies. 6 out of 9 qualifies most of the time. And often there is one guy with 5.5 who qualifies by tie breaks.
So it's all tie breaks, right? On Saturday, we don't see any tie breaks. It all goes by like the Buchholz or something like that.
Yes, a lot of it is because we get a lot of ties at the top.
Yeah.
And we want to remind you again that the top 8 players qualify to the Sunday knockout. And what a tough pairing for Vladimir Fedoseev. He's getting double blacked against Hikaru Nakamura. He was just black against Kamsky, and now he's black against Hikaru.
Yeah, we got some really good pairings in this round. I see Grishuk Sevian, Andrekin Serrana, Abdusator of Neiman, 2 young players, Nakamura Fedoseev, Musar Caruana, and Aronian Li Kwang Liam. So it's really getting like to the cream of the crop at this stage in the tournament.
Yeah, I mean, Hikaru has basically punched his ticket already. Fedoseev, and he did this against me in the CGC. Vladimir falls asleep between the rounds. Not literally, or I think not literally, but he forgets that the games start so quickly after the other games conclude.
Yep.
You can't do this against Hikaru. You cannot take a minute off of your clock on move 1.
Yeah. The games do start really fast. We got a couple of Italians in these games. Let me see what opening looks really good. Oh, I like Grishuk Sevian.
Wait, is Hikaru making a draw? He is, isn't he? Hikaru is making a draw. I'm surprised. I'm genuinely surprised. I thought he would play this one.
Huh.
But no, he's making a draw. Is Hikaru Nakamura. And he just decides that, hey, I've got 4.5 out of 5. I'm in first place. I need to qualify. Half a point suits me. And half a point certainly suits Vladimir Fedoseev.
Have a lot of these players already agreed to a draw? Because, no, here we go. Grishuk Sevian, that's the good one. Let's go to that one.
Okay, let's go to Grishuk Sevian. Oh, yeah, that's a juicy position. Good call, good call.
That's what I saw. Yeah, I saw the beautiful pawns on D4, E4, F4, and the bishop pair, and I was like, well, this is going to be a good master class in something. Masterclass on the center.
Either playing against the center or playing with the center, depending on who wins.
Yeah, I'm always on the side of the center. So Who's got the center here? It's Grishuk. Yeah. Sam.
So you like white here.
I like white. Yes, I do. Because I'm looking at black's position. I'm like, what's the redeeming feature of it? Where are the outposts for the knights? Where's the counterplay? So far, I haven't spotted it.
Yeah, neither have I. I don't think it's there to be spotted. Well, bishop b7 makes sense for black. I mean, you got to complete your development, but white has a million ways to defend the pawn. You can go knight e2 to g3, prepare
Queen
some
E3.
f5 shenanigans, queen e, absolutely. And white is better. Two bishop pair, everything.
How did he get this? How did such a wonderful opening position arrive?
Yeah, this was all theory, and then Sam playing a slightly offbeat line, knight c6, and then f4, by the way, is a cool move to prevent e5.
Well, but this is not the first time I'm seeing this, Danya. This is what I thought. I have noticed there was a game, and I think it was Sam. I mean, I think Sam was playing black pretty recently. Maybe it was in Meltwater. There was this beautiful knight takes g7 sacrifice against Duda. Duda Sevion is that game. I used it to teach my students. And he really suffered in the opening against this f4 move. And I see that again, he's struggling against it.
Yeah, so clear, maybe a hole in Sam Sevion's repertoire that will need to be addressed after this game. Last week, Sam, tied his own record and the RCC record for most points during a Saturday Swiss with 7.5 out of 9. He went on to make it to the finals, where he lost by the narrowest of margins to Wesley So, who is not playing this week. So Wesley will not be able to defend his RCC title this week, but he is in
maybe
the top
Wesley
12.
is already thinking about traveling to the Olympiad.
People have to understand, and I think a lot of people don't understand this, just how much preparation it takes, and the fact that, you'll co-sign this, Irina, the fact that you often have to arrive really early to a place like this for the jet lag, and you can't just come and play in 2 hours, right? Not these types of tournaments, right? Mm-hmm. You need to come early.
Oh yeah, jet lag is a big part of these international tournaments. When you fly across the ocean, it can take you days. I think when I go to places like China or like some Eastern Russia, it can take me, I would say, up to a week to really get on to their schedule, and it can be very miserable. Waking up at nights, sleeping during the day, and trying to break that. In a way, what I found, Danya, is sometimes when you go, and the sooner you start to play, the faster you get into the rhythm, because you suffer a bit in the beginning. But then the tournament, because you're forced to be awake, you actually kind of get into the rhythm faster than if you give yourself a whole week of sleeping in your hotel room. Yeah,
you kind of get into the sluggish mindset. I have a funny horror story for you. In 2009, I was flying to Budapest for Saturday tournament. I was in FM. So I was flying with my mom. We're checking into the flight, and we hand over our passports, and the agent looks at us and he says, no, the new passport. What do you mean the new passport? The passport's expired. So we didn't check my passport, because for kids, it expires every 5 years rather than every 10 years. Wow. So, we have to run to the passport agency. We managed to get a new passport overnight, which is completely unheard of. It usually takes 3 weeks to process a passport. Wow. And then I ended up flying in 3 hours before the first game. And then I remember during the first game, closing my eyes a little bit, and then I opened my eyes and 10 minutes have passed, and it's still my move. And I'm like, oh my God, this is crazy. I managed to pull out a draw. So I weathered the storm, and I got my first IM norm there. So all's well that ends well.
Wow.
Check your passport before a trip. That's the real lesson.
Yeah, my passport expires sometime in 2023, so I think I'm good. But yeah, that's a good story. Another interesting position. Well, okay, actually, this one seems plenty interesting for me. F5 on the board. So this knight is getting pushed out, and if you take an f5, I guess the question is what to take with it, because taking with a knight is very attractive. And this
is what I think Grishuk wants.
I think that's what he's going to do, and he's going to prepare these knight g7 or knight h6 sacks, and e5 potentially, or maybe d5 and c4 if you can make it. But he needs to figure out how to get that bishop on b2 into the game to just finish it off.
Yeah, if that bishop gets into the game, I agree. It's basically over. And Sam Sevian is thinking after F5, there's some sort of a 95 trick move, but I don't think that works. Nah, I think that Grishuk is in phenomenal
95,
shape here.
I'll probably just take an A6 and play Queen E2, and I think that's kind of it.
That's game, or even Queen F4, yeah. Oh yeah, this is even better. Goodbye. So he takes. Oh, so he plays this, but he does it in a different move order. He takes on D3 and then plays knight E5.
Okay, yeah, still not super productive because now he has to move. Okay, knight C4.
Ugh, I don't like this. Rook AC1, I guess he has B5.
But Rook AC1 makes a lot of sense to hold off that knight for a little bit longer. What other moves do we have, Danya? I mean, I like Rook AC1. I really think he will play that move. And then, Danya, after B5, what do you think about D5?
Oh, D5, I thought maybe E5.
D5, E5. You're still alive, huh?
Keeping everything closed.
Yeah,
I was more concerned, to be honest with you, about something like E5 and then maybe not F6, because the problem with playing E5 is that you give up this juicy square on D5. That's a juicy square.
Yeah, you want to just take on like E6, try Queen G4, Knight H5, yeah?
Yeah, something like that. I want to checkmate you before you have a chance to somehow consolidate on the king side.
And then there's A4, but like, what is A4? Does that make any sense here, or is it just a distraction?
I think it makes sense, but the problem is that black can move the queen, like Queen B6.
Queen B6, I take you, you take me, you're attacking B2. No, wait, what if I take
No, I take B2. I take B2.
B2 and you take on D4, okay.
Yes. And I think that's close to a draw.
So it's a big moment for Grishuk.
Yeah, I mean, he's got a decision to make here. It's clear that he's attacking on the king side, but F takes
Well,
E6,
I'm a little worried
E5,
about E5, Knight D5, you know, pawn E6, like Queen G4, Queen E7. Like, I'm afraid if we don't mate them, then we're giving up a lot of positional advantages to black.
That's true. No, you absolutely are. So it's not a move to be made lightly. He takes on E6. There was even an exchange stock on F6 that I was flirting with briefly, and there's your move, A4. So he ends up playing it.
Yeah, I think he will consider Rook F6, Danya. He will consider Rook F6 and Knight H5, and just maybe he's trying to distract the black queen a little bit.
No, definitely. This is
so Queen B6 is forced pretty much. Well, when I say forced, I just mean it's the most obvious move to me. There could be something else. Queen B6, and what are we going to do there?
But I think it's just Bishop A1 actually.
Wow, just like that. But nice. I like that.
Just like that. Queen B6, get the bishop out of there, threatening A takes B5. And also your move, Irina, D5.
Yeah, one day it's going to happen.
Effect.
Yeah, we'll play King H1 and D5 one day. Yeah, I like that. I like Bishop A1. I think that bishop is worth keeping.
This is very rough for black. And the nature of the RCC is that you can go, Sam goes 7.5 out of 9 one week, and the next week he's struggling to get in.
Unless your name is Hikaru Nakamura, right?
Yeah, then you're just always in first place, right?
Yeah,
exactly.
Then you got that consistency.
Okay. In the meantime, Fabi has the black pieces and is up a piece against Musard.
Yeah, he's totally winning.
Holy smokes, Fabi is on fire today. How did this happen? Wait, this is normal. What? Oh, he allowed Rook A3, which is... I think this was a mouse. I don't know.
What is that? What is that tactic? Hold on. Is
GF Queen F3.
Oh, wow. Pretty.
And then this is unstoppable with unstoppable mate.
That is pretty stuff.
The rook's just chilling there. You're like, you can't take me because you get mated.
Wow.
Whoa.
Nice way to win a piece.
And Hikaru with a little, Fabi rather, with a little mop-up duty here. He just needs a couple more accurate moves to cancel out the rest of White's counterplay.
There's an interesting position on the board between Tari and Maksudlu.
Okay. We can certainly check into that game. Okay, I see. Black has sacked a piece temporarily, I suppose.
So he wants to get it back. Rook G8 now. Okay. So, okay.
He did get it back.
They're playing so fast. Like it's like all these moves are so obvious to them. I don't think I'd make it.
Still theory.
Yeah, I would still be thinking about move number one. You know, maybe after taking the knight with check, then I would start thinking, okay, so rook g4, bishop's under attack. You will never take that knight on c4.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, no, never. That's that was in my nightmares today. That bishop on c6.
Rook g1, nice move. So the thing is, like, it's hard to know who's better here because white might eventually lose the a4 pawn, but they're going to win the h6 pawn, right? So it's a very unbalanced position.
That's true. And you know, the thing is, if white wins the h6 pawn, then this h pawn is going to be a force to be reckoned with, especially if the rooks all come off the board. So Parham needs to create counterplay of his own. We're going to have a pawn race of some sort. A pawn against h pawn. How about that?
Yeah, I mean, and the funny thing is, Danya, is that neither side is in a really good position to stop the other side's pawn.
Nope.
Not that easy.
I mean, especially the a pawn is literally just, I mean, it's just home free. He takes on d4 first. That's an interesting decision, opening up the position a little bit.
Yeah, so he takes back. I was wondering if he would just go h4 and h5 instead of that, but okay.
And knight b2, fishing for gold on the queen side.
Okay, I can get on board with that move. He wants to take on d3. He wants to maybe play bishop b5 or bishop c2, try to get in towards white's king and use the bishops of opposite color to actually attack here.
Mm-hmm.
Grishuk is looking good, by the way. He did move that bishop to a1.
Let's check back into his game. We have this position on the board with Sam Sevian trying somehow to create queenside counterplay and preventing Grishuk. I mean, as we discussed, the moment Sasha goes d5, it's like black's position. Can you take on c8 and go d5?
Yeah,
like
I think that's the plan.
Bang. Or
is he going to take on b5? Just a free pawn?
I don't think there's going to be an or. I think he's going to go d5.
You think so? Yeah. I would think there's some percentage chance that he would take on b5. But I mean, I agree with you that d5 is extremely tempting.
You know what's problematic? After d5, I was thinking maybe black can try to trade queens. But white has this very calm move, queen f3. And you might be like, okay, let me defend this knight. But all of a sudden, whoop, you take the other knight on a3, which is now hanging.
Yeah.
And the knight on g3 defends f1.
Yep. Nice line.
Oh,
he plays
d5 played?
No. Okay. Rook f8.
Okay.
How do we finish this one off? So if we take an f6, rook f6, maybe not the best way to do it, Danya, trading off a little too much.
Back rank is weak. Yeah, black gets a passer. So probably, okay, maybe you can just play AB, which is what he does.
There you go.
He's playing an exquisite game so far, is Sasha Grishuk. Wait, what if black takes on d5 twice? What exactly is going to happen to him?
Okay, now we're going to find out. Can we take and have some queen a2 ideas somewhere?
Wow.
What if I take on f8 and then at the end of all of that, I play queen a2?
That's sick. Take f8.
It is kind of sick, yeah.
If queen takes f8, whoop, queen a2.
Oh, do you still have some defense? Where is it? Queen
maybe.
d6?
But 94.
Yeah, knight f5 wins too.
And then queen takes d5. Beautiful. Yeah. Apparently there is some defense here. Oh, it's this move.
You're threatening mates.
I'm threatening queen c1.
I can't get my knight in. Okay, so maybe my queen a2 move doesn't work, but But maybe you know what? There's something else here, isn't there? There's like even b6, Danya.
Oh, b6 is beautiful. Knight takes b6 and check on e6 with a fork. And if you don't take, the pawn is home free and it's getting to b7. And that bishop on a1 is such a monster, creating, as it is, all of these mate threats. This is happening, by the way. It's on the board. Queen takes f8. Let's see what Sasha comes up with here with 2 minutes on his clock.
Oh, yeah. I think he'll find b6, yeah? I mean, you look at the board and you're very much focused on all these unprotected pieces. Oh, he went h3. Okay.
Well, that's a classic. A classic like Russian school of chess move, right? You know, your position is dominating. Black has no moves. And just say, I'm going to make some luft. I don't want to deal with any back rank problems.
Yeah. Well, I think this is a really good game, but like, can we go back to Tari versus Maksudlu? Because that one is looking kind of fun as well.
Yeah,
it's
we absolutely
can.
What a position. Oh, my lions, girl. This is crazy.
Yeah, look at that. An extra pawn for white. King running up the board. Black has 2 connected passers. The queen and the knight are pursuing that king. Yeah, I feel like this should give us some action.
They're pursuing it, and now we have a queen end game. They're pursuing it, but the question in these queen end games is always who has the more far advanced passer, rather than, I mean, the pawn count does not matter at all. At all. It's all about who can advance their pawn the fastest. And queen c8 check could be a perpetual, but black's king could also escape like via c4 or b4. Goes queen c6, so he's setting up some sort of a perpetual.
So queen e3, yeah. King f6.
Yeah, this is going to be a crazy time scramble to finish the game.
Oh yeah, they don't have much time for this kind of complicated position. So queen d4.
Yeah, Grishuk is about to win, by the way. Sevian will resign any second. Oh, Aronian lost another game.
Yeah, he lost. I saw that. He kind of got bad game against Li Kwang Liam as
got a one. Now, interesting thing, Irina, white does have the perpetual in his pocket. I mean, queen a4 check and queen d7 check forces perpetual. Instead, he goes e6. So white is actually playing for a win here quite clearly. Is Ariantari.
Yeah, it makes sense. Okay, so black is going for the perpetual. Does white have a way to avoid that? I guess he's going to king e8, king d7. The king will eventually wind up. Why doesn't he just go king e8? I thought that was the whole plan. King
Maybe
e8.
he's trying to milk a little bit of time off his clock.
Weird.
Draw. Queen king e8, maybe. Yeah, maybe that would have given more chances.
Okay. Oh, I thought that king was trying to move its way to e8 and d7. All right. I'm out of really fascinating games to look at on the top board.
Ooh, now on Draken and Mishanic, this is a game I thought was a draw at first, but now I realize white is actually winning. This is about to be so instructive. Look at what he's doing to him. King f6, it's over.
Yeah.
And black is nowhere near pushing his pawn.
Wow. Serrana winning. Oh, with 20 seconds on the clock.
Losing.
Serrana's losing. Okay, yeah, he's black. Yeah, and Draken wins. Plenty of time to spare.
And Grishuk, as we expected, has won his game. What a wild position in Demchenko Melkumian. And Hran Melkumian, who beat Aronian in round 2 and then proceeded to lose.
Yeah, there's a really good game
in a row. Yes?
I'm sorry. You versus Kovalev. You don't want to miss this one, Danya. You don't want to miss it. It's down to the seconds.
Me versus Kovalev?
Yeah. Well, actually, I was wondering what was going to happen there, but it wound up with Christopher Yu. It wound up in a draw.
Oh, Christopher Yu. I thought you were saying me as in me.
Yeah, no, you.
Christopher Yu. I was like, yeah. I'm playing the RCC. Maybe an alter ego. Okay, how did that game go? And we have a time scramble.
Yeah, don't worry about that. That finished in a draw.
So Demchenko's about to fly. No, this is not even close. I mean, 4 seconds to 14. Come on. Rook g3. Oh, he's trying to push his pawn. Melkumian's pre-moving. King g8, queen e6, queen c5, queen c5. Oh, he's gonna flag.
Yeah. It's
over. It is over.
I'm sorry, Danya, when I interrupted you, is it you were talking about someone losing 3 games in a row? Was it Hran Melkumian?
Yeah. He wins this one finally to get to 3 out of 6, but he's kind of out of the running unless he wins the rest of his games. Okay, so round 6 is in the books. We have 3 rounds to go, and that means we have another slightly more extended break. So, ladies and gentlemen, you're watching the Rapid Chess Championship presented by... Oh, no, I apologize. The break is after the next round.
Yeah, and
instead
actually... Danya, we were talking about Wesley earlier not playing this event. So he's actually busy playing in the Rapid and Blitz in Croatia. We forgot about that.
Yeah, that's a small tournament that's going on with Ali Reza and Magnus and somebody. Okay, we do have an interview with Fabiano Caruana, though, which we'd like to listen to before the round 7 games begin. Here we go. Here's Fabi.
Spenny Thompson here with Chess.com. We are joined by Fabiano Caruana after another exciting win. How do you feel right now?
Good. It was pretty, well, the first game wasn't too smooth, but after that, it was pretty nice. The last 2 games I played went pretty easily. I didn't get into time trouble or anything. So far, it's been going well.
Yeah, I was just going to say that was 2 games in a row where you were significantly up on the clock. Do you think that's just confidence, or are you just well prepped? What do you think that factor is?
No, the thing is, I went swimming today, and I probably swam for too long because I I must have gotten a lot of chlorine in my eyes, and I can't really see too well. So I'm just trying to play very quickly because in time trouble, I have a feeling I won't be able to see the board at all. So that's actually the reason. I'm just trying to avoid time trouble.
Well, I don't think I ever would have guessed that particular reason. Yeah, we'll wish you the best of luck in the next few rounds, and we'll bring it back to Danya and Irina for more Rapid Chess Championship.
Thank you.
Yeah, I was thinking about wearing goggles, but I seem to forget. So then I went swimming, and now I'm playing the RCC. And that was a great interview with Fabi. Going swimming earlier today. Great weather, I think, around the country. A little bit too hot, but perfect day for swimming.
Where is Fabi at now?
I think he's in St. Louis.
Oh.
Yeah, I think he lives in St. Louis. Yeah.
All right.
The chess capital of the world. Round 7, in the meantime, is underway, ladies and gentlemen. And we have Hikaru against Grishuk, heavy hitters once again. And a draw by agreement. Okay, Hikaru offering a draw. Grishuk's like, I'm black against Hikaru, why not? And that did not take long.
Yeah, so Hikaru's on 5.5 out of 7, right? So 2 more games. Do you think he's going to try to win a couple more games? No, he doesn't.
He's going to make 2 draws, is what Hikaru's going to do.
Well,
he's going to make 2 draws.
I mean, because isn't he streaming? So it would make sense for him to like put some content in the stream.
Yeah, but I think for Hikaru, making Sunday is by far the most important priority. And it's, a lot of people grumble when they see these kinds of results, but you also have to understand, like, the point of Saturday is to make it to Sunday. So, for Hikaru, he just made the calculation that this increases his chances of qualifying.
All right. Well, then let's go to a very interesting position between, all right, let's do Caruana on Draken. I think that game is
we
not
have
so
that
likely.
one on, and it's it's a French. Yeah, this is an Alapin. This is an Alapin.
Oh, Alapin, Sicilian. Wow. Okay, it doesn't look like this should peter out into a draw like that quickly. Although it is.
Wait a second. Yeah, they're waiting for you to say that, and then they're like,
let's start trading the pieces. Yeah, they found a way to do it, huh, Queen?
Let's start trading the pieces.
Well, in Queen C7, there's still Knight B5, so there's still a little something here for Black to think about.
Yeah, Rook D8 attacking the Queen, Queen E2. Okay, so at some point, Black probably cannot allow White to take on C6 and ruin his pawn structure.
Yeah, it's not such a terrible, not a terrible pawn structure, but I agree with you that you think no, like no way.
No, I think no, as in. It's not terrible. I agree with you. But I still think that Dmitry, given a choice. Now, I think Black is a little bit uncomfortable here. White's got a little more space. Bishop F3, Queen F3. Then White's going to go Rook D1. Fabi's going to keep his foot on the gas pedal here for a little while.
Yeah. And A6 is a little bit problematic because of Bishop B6 ideas.
B6 square, tiny smidgen of an advantage here. Queen C8 by Dmitry, trying to trade on his own terms.
Yeah, it's like Queen C7, except you're not walking into Knight B5 tempo.
Yes. B3, preemptively defending C4 pawn.
Interesting.
Okay. I mean, well, this is just a position. We've got other top games we can look at.
So we got here Fedosey versus Serrana, and this one doesn't look terribly exciting.
No, it does not. This is like a exchange Slav vibes.
Let me see if I got something more interesting here.
Yeah, I was about to call him Dmitry Fedoseev, so you saved me from that.
All right. How about we go to all right, let's go this one. Okay, Niemann versus Bortnik.
Awesome. Yeah, I love that you're finding these games because I'm looking everywhere. It's like boring. Yep. Niemann. Oh, there we go. And there's something juicy.
Yeah, look at that. He is playing with the white pieces against Alexander Bortnik.
And crushing him.
Yeah, he looks like he has got great pressure on the A file. Nice E4 square, nice light square control.
And I don't think, and Rook's doubled on the A file, I don't think that Hans has qualified yet to a single Saturday knockout. Don't quote me on this, but it would be great to see Hans take a stab at a knockout. I think a lot of people would like to see him. He's got 4 out of 6. So if he wins this game, he moves to 5 out of 7. He puts himself in phenomenal position for qualification chances. But Bortnik, we know how resilient he is. He will not go gentle into that good night in this position.
Yeah, no, I would like to see also Hans do well. Did you watch the video of him talking about how he was feeling after that recent online tournament, the Meltwater?
Yeah, was it that interview where he says chess is everything and
chess is horrible. It's brutal.
Chess is everything and it's horrible, right?
Yeah, it reminded me of that famous quote. You know, life is short. Life is short and brutal.
Yeah, pretty. It's crazy how your mood changes during the tournament. As much as when there's rest days in tournaments, how much I enjoy the city and the food really depends on how I did the previous day. Anything tastes good if you just beat a strong player.
Yeah. No, I thought his interview was good in the sense that it was like honest, right?
It was. There was
different, I saw different sort of kind of commentary on it. From my point of view, it was nothing really that unusual. This is like in the range of emotions that a chess player feels when they score, like what did he do, like 2 out of 7 points or something, and he was talking about having lost 5 games. So yeah, I mean, sure, it feels bad, and I think it's nice of him to be honest about the reality of it, right? What it is like for him.
I think that as it stands right now, in a lot of sports fields, hiding your emotions is sort of considered this badge of honor, and I don't think it should be. I think, why do you get interviewed if not to express your honest feelings and emotions? What's the point of hiding everything? Then why do an interview at all? So there should be an expectation. I think, in general, it should be encouraged to be more honest. Obviously, you have to be professional. I mean, you can't, rage on camera and stuff. But like, if you're upset, saying that you're upset, there's nothing wrong with that, I think.
Yeah, I totally agree. So someone's told us that Hikaru watches the other games on the stream when he's done. Okay, well, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that.
Whoa! Fireworks and Neiman Bortnik. Knight takes c5.
What? Hold on. Let me catch. Oh, 95 is the point.
Yeah, okay. And then at g6 square, White's screwing that knight in there. And if you play queen c7 and try to recapture the knight, then there's d6 for starters. There's d6, and the game is over.
Mm-hmm. Nice move. He's looking confident. If you look at him in the camera.
I have a cool line for you. After d6, bishop takes d6. I was thinking you could give a check, take on f4. Looks like black is home free. No, he's not. Rook f6 at the end of the line, followed by a Forkovich.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, none of that has happened yet because Bortnik is thinking after knight takes c5.
Yeah, but Hans is good on the clock. He's got a little more time, and his position is pretty dominating. So I think Hans is going to take this game. And so you said if he wins, he's going to get 5 out of 7?
If he wins, he's on 5 out of 7, so he's in great potential qualifying spot.
You know who we haven't seen much of? We haven't seen much of the tiger in the hat.
Tiger v Šľapě. Let's take a look.
Oh, you found him so quickly. Okay, cool.
Yeah, well, his name is unmistakable.
Yeah, so
what is tiger in a hat? Is that a reference to like a kid's multik or something?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know any cartoon that has to do with that, but
cartoon, that's the word, sorry.
Yeah.
This is an English language broadcast.
So he has a bishop pair advantage. I guess I rather like his position. The knight on g6 is terrible. Pawn on e5 is strong. Bishop pair advantage. He's trying to make the knight better. Good idea. But for the moment, he's given up a pawn. Is he going to get it back? He's going to get it back.
He's got to get it back.
But I wonder bishop e4 must be the plan, and probably taking it, actually, king e3.
But this is a terrible endgame for black, because the problem is, yes, you have this blockade on the pawn, but White's also got the possibility of playing g4 and setting those pawns in motion. So it seems to me that Gata is going to grind him down. He's got a big advantage here. Okay, and he gets into the bishop endgame, so this is winning, I guess.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking he was going to go, because this bishop endgame with the f5 pawn fixed on a light square and the c5 pawn being a potential target is Pretty unpleasant.
H4 by Gata. So I suppose that he is trying to prevent G5. And I think he's preparing Bishop C2 and he wants to meet G6 with H5, something like that.
So Bishop F1, King C3, then Bishop C4 will happen. And Black basically needs to keep the king out of C4. If he lets the king go to C4, he loses.
But I think the king is getting to C4. This is exquisite. If you want to learn endgame technique, just look at Gata's games. That's all you need. That's really all you need.
You're finding, like, you think he's going to do the tempo with Bishop D3 somewhere.
But that's what Pankradov's trying to prevent. Bishop C4, he wants to... Basically, the idea is you want to go Bishop D3 with a tempo and then get the king to C4, as you said, Irina. But Pavel is not letting him do that easily.
Yeah.
He wants to play Bishop C8 in order to get back to the promised land on E6. And you have this posturing for position as Gata tries to get him into Zugzwang, and Pavel tries to keep the status quo.
Yeah, I wonder, okay, White should probably play the pawn to A3 just in case in these positions. So I wonder if we will be seeing that pawn A3 move soon. For now, no.
And we've got a couple of other interesting games. By the way, Fabi...
What? Like he's
gotten his king
he's
to C4.
allowing him to take on A2 so he can take him into a king and pawn endgame.
Oh, and this is over. This is just over. You go around and you take it.
Nice.
Beautiful technique for Gata, and he's gonna win. This is over. This is all over. Okay, I do want to get to Fabi's game.
Yeah, sure. Let's go.
Because he's in a very interesting endgame. I think he's about to win. I think he's about to defeat Dmitry Andreikin, putting Andreikin in a very difficult spot.
Wow.
We also have Fedoseev or Serrana in an interesting position. But anyways.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and we also have actually the most interesting game. Yeah, I guess let's quickly look at this one. So,
sorry.
Okay.
I was unintentional.
Oh yeah, so here we go. Fabi has two connected passed pawns, really active king. Black has no particular counterplay. I guess that sums it up.
Yeah, I mean, White's just pushing A4.
Let's go to Li Kwang Liam versus Musard. That's a good one.
Okay, Li Kwang Liam Musard here. Whoa. What a crazy... And it seems like the games are starting to heat up here toward the later rounds because a lot of players basically need a win, including these two. Well, no, these two players would probably be fine with a draw.
Yeah, but
Especially
look at the defiled play that Black has, the beautiful knight on F5. So what is going on here? Pawns are even. White's knight on B6 is really far away. I mean, instinctively, of course, I like this for Black, Danya, right? But...
Can't you take on D5, though, I wonder?
Yeah, so Lee's thinking knight takes D5. Okay.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out what exactly is the problem after knight takes D5. I'm sure there is
Maybe
one.
bishop D5, queen D5, knight E3 he has to calculate.
Yeah, and then I thought queen F3.
Knight F1, queen F1.
No, but the queen on H5 is hanging.
Oh, it's hanging. Oh, queen F3, yeah. Yes, okay.
Huh, he takes on D5, so we're about to find out.
Yeah, okay. Knight B6 was good, of course. Very helpful. Queen F3.
I get it. Queen F3, queen takes F3, and knight takes G2, and the knight threatens to move to E1. White might actually be in some trouble there. I don't know.
It's a little bit of a pity that they're going to trade the queen soon. I thought we were going to have more excitement on that G file.
Although White could potentially consider a move like queen D4, and he plays it.
Oh, good. There you go.
Knight takes F1,
E6.
E6.
Wow.
But I think the bad news is that might lead to a perpetual.
Wow. Does he have to go for that? He has to take an F1, doesn't he? He kind of does. Yeah, he kind of does.
Perpetual check, queen D8.
But still exciting,
Yeah, this is a good draw. This is a combative draw. And in the meantime, Fabi continues to... I mean, Fabi's going to win. Nothing has changed on his board. And Gatakomsky has won indeed. Wow.
So Rana has beaten Fedoseev.
Damn.
Yeah, Abdusatorov beat Ibarra.
Yeah, that's a pretty understandable result.
Let's go to Sevian Maksudlu.
There it is. Very tense struggle here. And 3.5 out of 6 for Sam. So Sam basically in a must-win situation. And he kind of has to win. He has to be perfect, which is something Sam is capable of.
Well, he's got a nice position to attack from here, 94, I suppose, right?
Yeah.
And queen c8, like you're pointing out, looks like a big idea coming. The knight on b4, well, it's funny because black's knight, if it takes one of these pawns, is actually quite good, but it's really a matter of timing. Is black going to get that chance? Because white has to be very quick here.
Yeah, white cannot allow knight takes d5 unpunished. Now, rook g6, there is this move, queen h5, with the idea of meeting knight c5 with knight g5, but that's a gimmicky trick. That isn't necessary. Or even here, black can move the king, and black has knight f4 check. That's kind of cool.
I think he's going to play queen c8, right? Rook g6, queen c8 is not like a really big problem.
Oh, and queen h8 mate, I forgot.
Yeah, because you don't even have rook g8 there, Danya, because of knight f6.
Knight f6 with a fork, exactly. Huh. And this is a tough position for Parham, who drops now to 78 seconds and counting on his clock.
Yeah,
so
now
one.
If queen c8, then queen f3, queen h5 is a problem. So he needs to be kind of smart about how he does this.
Maybe start with queen e2, but then the rook can move along the first rank.
What about king h3? King h3 is kind of interesting.
Okay, I take on d5. He plays rook d8. So knight takes...
Yeah. Can you try to put the king h3 on the board? Was that any good, Danya?
King h3. Yeah, it was actually a very, very reasonable move. Apparently, black had an only response knight takes d3, which would have been hard to find.
Okay, so let's see what's going on.
Sevian is also trying to play on Parhudlu. Maksudlu's clock. Oh, rook c2 is a threat.
Yeah, no, things have completely changed. I mean, I think Maksudlu has lost his initiative. That's basically the new reality here.
Yeah, now Sevian has the initiative, but rook c2. Rook c2 is a big threat. And the idea, of course, is queen takes c2. Knight e3 is just checkmate.
So now knight d6, I guess, to try to play queen e4 is the most obvious.
Yeah, I don't want to... I'm going to leave the players to calculate that. Jeez.
Yeah.
Imagine trying to figure that out with a minute on the clock.
Knight d6. If you play rook c2, well, okay, at least it's not that bad for me.
Knight f7 and king f1 also might win a piece.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah,
I have
d6.
no idea what either side should do. Rook d6.
He just misses it. He just
no, knight e3. Knight e3.
Wow.
Knight e3. You can't take it because of mate. And if king h3, black has rook e1 and missed it too.
Wow, this is bad. Why is this move bad?
Because knight d2 saves the game for white.
Wow, so knight e3 was the move.
But if you go like this, then you actually get checkmated. You can't do that. You have to find knight d2 here. Knight e3 check was winning for black instead.
Wow. So knight d2, and the game is still even. That's going to put them in a really tense spot.
Anybody's game here. This is the total 3-result game.
Wow,
and you can't blame Parham.
Poor Sam missing that. Missing that beautiful knight e3 move.
But Parham missed it as well, and queen up to e3. And a repetition of moves with something like knight d5 is not unlikely in these kinds of scenarios. What does Parham do? He's down to 35 seconds. He's sort of stuck in mud here. And here comes his queen. Huh. Rook d7 check. Will we see a perpetual?
King g8 or king g6? I guess he can do either. Okay, so yeah, it kind of feels like Sam.
I think Sam's going to flag him.
Sam's going to flag him, you think?
I think so. Or is he going for a draw? No, he's not. Queen f2.
He's trying. He's trying to win.
He's going to flag him. He's totally going to flag. Look at the time to spread. Parham, make a move!
He heard you. All the way in Iran.
He heard me, but it's way too late. He's shooting himself in the foot here completely.
Yeah, I mean, black's position is getting better, but it just does, his time is getting worse.
He's winning at this point, actually. Oh, queen e5 and rook d2. He's actually just straight up winning.
Yeah, straight up winning, but 4 seconds left, and Sam is going to be unforgiving.
Beautiful pre-moving by Sam. I mean, Parham doing everything he can and doing a great job of it, I should add. But he's not going to make it happen. Oh.
Oh, Sam. All right, you did it. Good mouse play.
By hook or by crook, he managed.
Can we show that again, Danya? Do we have a second to show that knight e3 move?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think all the games are essentially over. So if we rewind, this is an important moment. where Parham can win the game with the check. If you take it, you get mated on f1. And if king h3, this is probably what he missed. Rook e1. And the queen has no squares. Queen e1.
That's really fancy, though. I can't blame him. I mean, that part is quite fancy, the second deflection, you know?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, this wasn't children's tactics.
No. This was hard, and he had a minute on the clock, but a frustrating game for Parham, who really falls out of contention. Sam Sevian, with 4.5 at f7, is still alive. Now we're going to go take our second slightly larger break of the day. We have 2 rounds to go. You will not want to miss them because the top 8 moves on to the Sunday knockout, and we still do not know who will make it into the top 8. You're watching the Rapid Chess Championship presented by Coinbase. We will be back with the final 2 rounds of the Saturday Swiss on the other side of this short break.
The Rapid Chess Championship is brought to you by Coinbase. Whether you're looking to make your first crypto purchase or you're an experienced trader, Coinbase has you covered. You can earn crypto by learning about crypto at Coinbase.com. Explore DeFi and Web3 with your Coinbase wallet. Get exclusive rewards when you spend with your Coinbase Card and much, much more. Learn more at Coinbase.com/chess and get $10 in Bitcoin when you sign up and verify your account. Check them out. Use the command sponsor or command Coinbase today and go to Coinbase.com to get that Bitcoin, baby.
Back we are at the Rapid Chess Championship presented by Coinbase. Round 8 of 9 is underway here at the Saturday Swiss alongside Grandmaster Irina Crush. And we've got Hikaru Nakamura, who has drawn the previous 2 games trying to secure his way into the top 8. And he has black against Gata Kamsky, Irina another Berlin.
Yeah, and he seems like he's in a good mood on the camera, Hikaru. And yeah. I wonder if that's because he thinks that this game is going to also end very quickly with his teammate on the American team, Gata Kamsky.
He offered a draw, by the way.
Yeah, he's looking too friendly, for me to think that this is going to be a cutthroat game.
I think Gata might decline it, though. I mean, Gata has 5 points. Okay, so let's consider this from Gata's shoes. He's got 5 points out of 7. You basically need, 6 out of 9 qualifies you, I would say, about 50 to 60% of the time. Mm-hmm. Maybe a little bit more. So, it makes sense for Gata to take the draw. But if he wins this game, he basically punches his ticket automatically and he declines it. Yeah, gotta. Let's go. I like it. I like that spirit.
Wow. I'm happy to see that kind of fighting spirit from Gata.
Yeah, Mr. White. Yes, science. And Gata Kamsky gonna do his best to squeeze an advantage out of this position.
It's a pretty staid position, but okay. I mean, White has a little bit of the initiative, right? Like the e-file, rook e1 coming, bishop d3 if you get a chance. Black still has to defend a little bit. I can imagine myself putting some pawns, g3, h4.
Gata looks like he's in a hotel room also, by the way.
Yeah, queen e3, g3, h4, rook e1, and Black trying to go bishop d7, right? Like rook e8 after queen c7.
Yeah, I mean, this is Gata's type of position, though. He likes these symmetrical positions where he maybe has a smidge of an advantage.
Yeah,
it's
okay.
Not much. It's not
F6
much. It's not much.
by Hikaru. So is rook e8 coming?
I have a cool line. Yeah, I don't think it is. I think if Black plays rook e8, this is not happening. After takes
95.
95, and White threatens 97 either immediately or after rook takes f8. And if queen d6 and the bishop comes out to h3.
Well, that's a beautiful line, Danya.
Yeah, it really is. But Gata playing 95, though, he's going for the trade. And taking with the pawn, that's actually really interesting. That introduces a little bit of asymmetry into the structure at last.
Yeah, and I guess he'll be following up with f4. Hard to imagine him not playing this position with that move, because normally you want to support your e5 pawn with another pawn going for that space. Still doesn't feel like too much because Black can just go bishop f5, bishop e4. In fact, I think that's really the main idea, bishop f5. I think Hikaru will be putting that on the board. By
the way, I will add that Fabiano Caruana, as you can see, has drawn his game against Alexi Serrana. A mutually beneficial result, although Alexi will have to perform in the final round. Fabi has essentially already punched his ticket into the top 8. He's got 6.5 out of 8, a monster score. And even a loss in the last round will not bring him down below the top 8.
So it looks like f4 was played, bishop f5. Okay, I really don't see where White's advantage is going to come from. Wow, but Hikaru going h5. That's an interesting move. He wants to go h4, fix those weak squares a little bit.
And an interesting tidbit from Spenny, who does the interviews. We really appreciate his hard work behind the scenes. Apparently, when Hikaru offered a draw, Gata checked the tournament standings before deciding how to proceed. So Gata probably, performed that mental calculus and decided, no, I really need to try to win this game to punch my ticket. So interesting stuff there.
Good stuff from Gata. I mean, you gotta respect the players that take some risks, and even if he gets a draw in this game, I think it's more likely that he's going to get some luck in the last rounds, because that's usually how it works. The people who play get the luck when they need it. I would say that's more often than not the case.
Kaisa looks favorably upon the fighting players. Rook e8 by Hikaru Nakamura. And as I switch to another game, we can look at Grishuk's position here with Lei Kwang Lim, both of these players with 5 points as well. In the Olympiad, when I was playing the World Team Championship and somebody offered a draw, you were allowed to consult with your team captain, actually, before making a decision. Is that true in the Olympiad?
Yeah, that is true in the Olympiad. Yeah, at least it's always been. I don't know what the regulations are going to be like this year, but historically, that's been the case, that you're allowed to ask your team captain whether you should accept the draw or not.
So it is an example of being able to receive quote unquote assistance during the game, but that's in that very narrow window, you can indeed.
Do you want me to show you an interesting game, Danya?
Absolutely.
Niemann Suleiman Lee.
Oh, and that's also a big game for the standings, because Hans Niemann with 5 points out of 7 in a big situation. Okay.
And he's playing young player from Azerbaijan. I guess from this opening, it's kind of hard to know, some kind of a London system played by Hans. Probably.
Yeah, London system is exactly what it was.
And now the choice is how to capture. If you take with the queen, well, you're allowing e5. Yeah, there's no way he's taking with the queen. He's taking with the pawn. If you take
with the queen, no, but e5,
e5,
the c4 hangs.
So you have to trade and then try to defend c4. Yes, I forgot about that.
Yeah, I think he takes f4, b5, but then White has a4. Yeah, white's slightly better here. No question about it. Suleimanli digging himself into a hole.
I
at the
really
start of
like
his
the
endgame.
white pawns on h4 and f4.
No, this pawn on f4 is restricting the center. Wait, AB, bishop f3. What is he doing? Bishop f3 wins the pawn.
Yeah, that looks like a free pawn.
Suleimanli losing his patience
Yeah.
in this endgame, blundering the pawn on a7. Hans is probably looking at this saying, what? What am I missing?
Yeah, I don't think he's missing anything, but it just wasn't
No,
that
he's
easy
not.
for black to guard that pawn. Like I really didn't see like an obvious solution. For
not
him.
sure why Hans is taking that long. I think that what black had to do was, believe it or not, to take on a4.
You play bishop b7 or something.
Hard move to play, and then go rook b8 and counterattack. This is black's only source of counterplay, that pawn. But Hans doesn't play bishop f3. What?
He plays b4. Wow.
Can you believe that?
Well, I'm okay.
he's
Yeah,
so-
I can
yeah, he's
believe
so
it because I
much
like
better.
it. Yeah, I like this move. I am very nice positional move. Definitely taking that pawn to b4 is an improvement of the pawn structure. And black is super passive with his bishop on b5. And yeah, I still like Hans' chances to win here.
I'm not disputing. Yeah, I'm not disputing that he's better. That he's much better. And even the bishop endgame is by no means a dead draw or anything of the sort, because much like the Gadapan-Kradov game, black just has this long-term weakness on c4, which white can try to attack. This is a thankless defensive task that awaits Aiden Suleimanli, the young GM from Azerbaijan, who burst onto the scene
Rook d1.
a couple of years ago when he
Yeah.
won Aeroflat. Rook d1. There it is, Hans.
Yep, going for that
orchestrate.
bishop endgame. Good technique. I think just seeing that you can put your king on d4, play bishop e2, win the pawn, and therefore black has to avoid the rook trade, giving up the open file.
Yep. Rook c8, sad necessity.
Yeah,
for
it's still going to be some
Suleimanli.
work for white to win. Yeah, rook d4. I mean, does he want to go like g4 maybe here?
Yeah, or maybe h5 at some point, just expand that, because that's what you're supposed to do in the end game. Just like expand on the king side.
I still feel like it's not a trivial for white to win this position.
No, it's far from trivial. Black can just go back and forth, rook c8, rook c7, and just kind of stare his opponent down and say, all right, what you got for me?
Yeah, white has to find a way to break through, and I don't see anything like obvious.
h5, Hans can milk this for a long time. The problem is that black is also up on time.
h6. How about that?
You think white should drive this pawn into the...
I mean, unless you have g5, but like if you don't have g5, I like h6.
Yeah, because the pawn on h7 is a huge weakness, and you might be like, who cares about that? You can't get to it. Well, you actually can. I mean, rook d8, rook h8 for starters becomes a threat. But even in a bishop endgame arena, sometimes the sack on g6 can be incredibly nasty if you've got a pawn on h6. So he goes rook d8 immediately.
Yeah,
This
he's
is
definitely
nasty.
thinking about h6, but he didn't do it because of g5. And by the way, king d4, that's unpleasant.
Yeah.
Before
And
at some point.
the king will be unassailable. You won't be able to give a check on d7.
Yeah. Well, you can still play king e7, but yeah, see now at this point, now with the king moving away from e7, king d4 becomes more of an idea.
Yeah, absolutely it does.
And that's the problem. The king on e7 was way better posted. So I don't really know about that. Yeah.
Here comes the other pawn.
Yeah. What's the idea here? So he's just improving the pawn structure, but where's the breakthrough though supposed to come from?
Yeah, I mean, rook back to d4 would be a little bit underwhelming. He plays it.
Yeah. Okay.
Apparently that was a mistake.
Yeah, I am underwhelmed because I don't understand. We didn't improve too much on the king side, and now we can't improve there anymore. And I don't see where that breakthrough is going to come from.
Yeah, the pawn on f4 is permanently fixed in place. It appears that black is very close indeed to setting up a fortress. Hans will continue torturing his opponent. Let's maybe take a look. Oh, the Kamsky Hikaru game is really interesting. Gata Kamsky has actually created some chances, but that's going to be a draw. Yeah, Gata Kamsky is about indeed to make a draw with Hikaru Nakamura.
Yeah, well, you know, we also got Grishik versus Li Kuang Liang, which is a bit an unusual position in the end game there.
Yeah, so this game we can leave because this is official. Hikaru and Kamsky are about to make a draw. Kamsky will offer one. And there it is. And we can now switch to the Grishik game. Another endgame. Rook endgame. They trade on c4 and e4 by Sasha Grishik pushing the pawn, creating a second passer.
he's got the outside passed pawn and he's got this passed e pawn. It actually looks really difficult for black.
Agreed.
Because he can't really go king b6 and rook a6, right? So you're just going to go e5 and you're not in the square of the pawn.
He is one tempo too short. If the king was on d7, actually, even if he can stop the pawn, it would probably still be bad. But that's beside the point because he can't. I think black is lost.
Pretty hopeless, yeah. Just king e3, king d4 is coming or taking.
So I have an interesting question for you, Irina. The pawn on c6. I was doing an endgame video on YouTube and I was struggling with this. Is this considered a passed pawn? Or is just the c4 pawn the passed pawn?
Yeah, I think it's just the c4 pawn. That's the passed pawn.
Right. I guess because your own pawn obstructs the other pawn, so it still isn't a passer.
Yeah, that's the way I would think about it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Only one of them gets to be the passed pawn, Danya. They can't both be. They can't both be.
Grishuk had offered a draw earlier this game, and earlier this endgame, Lekwang was doing quite fine. Wait, c2. Oh, that was probably premature.
Wait, he didn't play his king up. He pushed the pawn.
He should have stopped the pawn with his king.
What? That's so weird.
And just gone king d1 and then king c1. Just get the king there, and then just push e6, e7, basically.
Yeah, try not to get mated, but
try not to get mated. But you can also go like rook a5 at some point. There were ways of getting those pawns advanced, but instead he goes e6.
Yeah,
like Kwang though doesn't play c2. Huh?
He goes king c4, and so now on e7, rook e7. Oh, it's a cool little race there because you could give up the rook, you play c2, you play like your king in. Okay,
but
so
Sasha.
He goes king e2.
Okay, so what if king b3?
Probably king d3, or is it king d1? There's king b2.
Yeah, king d3. I was still gonna play king b2. I guess then you can go rook e1, and maybe you're winning.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's actually a nice idea, putting the rook behind the e pawn.
Yeah, I think Grishuk is gonna grind him down here, and you can see the eval bar is showing that white should be able to win this endgame. And a repetition of moves here, but it's a really hard endgame to wrap your head around. Like, I don't even know what's going on.
So what he's playing king b3, and then he just plays rook b1. I mean, and he's not going king d3. Is it why?
No, so king d3, king b3, king d3 is the winning line apparently. King b2. And indeed, its only move, rook e1, c2, rook e2, and you're just in time to pin and win the pawn. This might be what Sasha is missing while he's calculating. And like Kwang right now is not repeating moves just yet.
Sasha is really down on the clock.
Yeah, he is. 1 minute 38, which for him is like an eternity. But it's going to be close.
So what can Lee do other than king b3? I mean, he doesn't really have moves? Is he thinking about like c5?
I don't know. Yeah, c5 maybe. Just advance the pawn. Another important thing, e7 is not a threat here because black takes it with check. So he does end up going king b3, and Sasha Grishuk is repeating moves. He's going for the draw.
Yeah.
And he's winning, but he doesn't see king d3.
Wow. Yeah, it might be the time situation that's affecting him. Maybe Lee Kwang Liam is actually the one thinking, because he's maybe he was thinking, can I avoid this repetition to try to use the clock?
And a draw by agreement, and Grishuk is going to be kicking himself when he finds out that after king d3, white's position is in fact winning. The threat of rook b1 check forces black to either go c2 or king d2. And this position, black just doesn't have any ways to make progress because king b2, rook c1, white picks up the pawn, and the e-pawn essentially decides the game. Hard to evaluate, admittedly, in time pressure.
Yeah, let's take a look at Xiong versus Fedoseev. That's one of the games in play that is still somewhat competitive.
And we haven't looked at Jeffrey's games yet, which is a crime because Jeffrey is such a beast. He's got 4 points out of 7, so struggling this tournament, but still in contention. If he wins this game and he wins the next one, he'll have 6.
All right, so he is doing really well here with his rook on the 7th. How is the material? Material is even. He traded, huh?
But here comes his pawn. Here comes the A pawn. And you know what else is scary, Irina? The possibility of white going knight h4 at some point. Oh, queen b5. And queen b7. He's winning.
Okay, nice. Getting that queen out from a passive roll on D3, blocking the D pawn. That's good.
It's over. This game is over. Queen B7 is coming. A7, A8, and the knight restrains the pawn on the passed D pawn. You can even sack the knight for it at the right moment.
There's an interesting game, Tari versus Raja. It's a little bit further down, but since the other games are mostly clear in their evaluation, maybe we can take a quick look at that.
Let's do it. So Jeffrey Zhang, just to be clear, is about to defeat Fedoseev. Queen B7 is coming. Okay, so we can move on to Tari against Rithvik Raja. Another big game for the standings. Tari wins this. He's got 5 points. Again, he's totally in this tournament.
So black has 2 pawns for the exchange. The pawns are doubled, though, so I guess white is winning here. He just needs to set his queenside majority in motion.
Yep. Okay, so king F5. By the way, Hans is also still playing Suleimanli.
Yeah, I noticed that Hans is winning, in fact.
Hans is winning.
Managed to make progress and wait. Yeah, he should be winning. We can actually take a quick look at that game just to see
yeah, this is the position on the board.
Yeah, and he's threatening rook A8.
He is threatening rook A8, and he's also threatening rook A7 and C8.
Yeah.
No, this is over. I mean, black is up a bishop. Hans somehow has sacked it, and Hans is just a beast.
Yeah, he managed to break through. How did he break through in this game?
Well, at some point, he somehow got this position, which is he played Suleimanli. But I'm not sure. What is Suleiman's rook doing on H3?
Yeah, nothing. Absolutely nothing.
Why is it there? And why did he allow Hans to get all this activity? 2 connected passers, and then Hans with a very well-timed bishop sacrifice. Nice. And look at how quickly his pawns reached B6 and C7. It's all over. 7 seconds for Suleimanli with no increment, and he will resign the game here. Very momentarily, rook B8 checks, and F takes E5. This is winning. King takes F7. Just take everything.
You know, that game between Tari and Raja is still, it's actually not winning for white. And white managed to lose like a B pawn along the way.
Yeah, it's a double-sided endgame, actually. This could go either way. Bishop D4.
Yeah, and by the way, there's one more, Vahida versus Christopher Yu. Maybe that's one to look at. That's a close by because white is down a piece.
Oh, it's almost like the Hans position, same pawns.
Yeah, it is very similar. But Christopher Yu really struggling on the clock here.
Yeah, the problem is that both of these players are out of contention. Oh, knight B8 check. And Christopher, is he playing for a win here?
Knight
Bishop C8.
Oh, he just wants to get rid of all of these pawns and
Volkidov is going for the flag. That's why he played E7 rather than B7, obviously.
That's right. He just wants to keep the pawns on the board, and if black can't get rid of them, eventually black is gonna lose on time.
Oh, Christopher took 1 pawn. He's gonna take another, but king takes G5. White's gonna win.
White's gonna win because of that 1 pawn. That's crazy.
Oh my god! And Volkidov, but he's blundering the pawn all the time. But Christopher doesn't have time to realize it, and it's over. Beautiful technique, beautiful flagging by Shamsuddin Volkidov.
Beautiful mouse technique.
Beautiful mouse technique. Aryan Tari drawing his game in the meantime.
So we probably have most of these results done. Actually, we're about to start round 9. We got Fabiano Caruana, 6.5 out of 8. Hikaru has slowed down a bit with some draws. He's got 6 out of 8. Chess Warrior, Abdusatorov, 6 out of 8. Hans on 6 out of 8. Nice to see Hans doing so well. And he's ahead of players like Grishuk, Sarana, and Gata, and Li Kwang Liam.
And speaking of Hans, we do have an interview with him conducted by the one and only Spenny Thompson. Let's listen in before the final round begins.
All right, Spenny Thompson here with Chess.com. We're joined by Hans Niemann after another exciting win. How do you feel right now? Doing pretty well.
Well, it's like the first of this. I always do badly in this event, and I always feel like I get just ridiculous pairings because my rapid rating is so low because the first few events I did terribly, and then I got stuck with this low rapid rating, and then because of the low rapid rating, I play all the top players like every single game no matter what. So I just have never, I've been close a few times, but I've not felt like this is my tournament. So hopefully I can break the curse.
Yeah. I was going to say, I don't want to jinx anything, but Does the pressure of potentially being able to make it to the KO round, does that add some pressure for you, or are you trying to stay cool?
There's no pressure. I don't really feel pressure in games that aren't classical chess, to be honest. This is just purely training. I really just, if it's not classical, I'm just chilling. So it's not like I'm going to be shaking, or if I'm playing Key-Card in the last round, oh my God, I got to make a draw. It's not like that. Like if it's classical chess, I would care.
Right.
But for online, I just really don't care.
Yeah, well, literally don't care.
Exactly.
It's a great competitor's mindset. Well, I don't want to keep you too long. We'll bring you back to the next rounds, and we'll bring it back to Danya and Irina for more Rapid Chess Championship. Thank you.
Thank you, Spenny. And here we go. We have already 2 results. Speaking of Hans Nakamura, that is indeed who he played in the last round, Irina. Berlin draw in Hans Nakamura. Both of them punched their tickets to the final 8, and Fabiano making a draw as well against Notterbeck.
Yeah, it's really funny that he kind of predicted his pairing against Nakamura. Unfortunately, it wasn't the exciting game we had hoped. But this is kind of the issue. Like, we have to find the people who have something to fight for, right? In that last round.
It's a good way of putting it.
Yeah, who need to win in order to qualify. So I would say, who should we follow? Like, do we think that's 6.5, or is it going to be 6 points that's going to be enough to make it in?
So mathematically, we have four spots already taken.
Mm-hmm.
There are 4 more people who have 5.5. They're all playing each other. So at a maximum, you will have 6 players who have 6.5 or above. So 6 out of 9 is going to qualify at least 2 people.
Mm-hmm.
And it's going to qualify at least 2 people. And tie breaks, as always, are going to be very important. So somebody like Alexander Grishuk, he can make a draw. Jeffrey Zhang needs to win. Jeffrey Zhang needs to win if he is to have any chance at qualifying.
Oh, so he's in a must-win against Grishuk.
Which is why he played the Benko Gambit with the black pieces against D4.
Makes sense. Okay, well, in that case, let's look at this game, since it's always nice when only one result is good enough for one of the players.
Especially for black.
Yeah, rook e8, bishop e3.
Yeah, this looks.
Or is it bishop e2 that's the plan? Is it bishop e2? Because bishop e3 runs into knight g4.
Yes, it does. Now, that's not necessarily the end of the story because black is quite underdeveloped.
Mm-hmm.
But okay, bishop e3 played. Okay, if I'm Jeffrey, I'm going for it. I'm trying knight g4.
Yeah, you kind of have to, because otherwise, like, why exactly are you down a pawn?
So right, let's take a look at this. Knight g4.
Castles. Probably.
Castles. Takes. No, but just queen d2. I mean, look at the disparity in piece development. Just like here, even rook 8 e1. This just looks nasty for black. I mean, the pawn is going to move to d6 at some point to fix black's pawn on a really weak square.
So what if I go like knight a6 here?
Yeah, knight a6. I'll go d6. I'll go d6. And I'll go, well, I'm threatening. Yeah, I'll go rook e8, queen e8, rook e1.
You're coming into e7.
I'm coming after you, and I just feel like this gets really, really nasty.
Mm-hmm.
He takes it. He does it.
Yeah, he takes it because I don't think there was that much of a choice for black. Like, he was basically, at least this way, he's getting attacked, but he got back the pawn. Otherwise, there was really just nothing for him to do. Yeah. Yeah.
At least this is something. And he's suffering for something. Okay, Sasha is thinking. And we have more results here. We have also Alexei Serrana with 5.5 is playing Gata, who has got 5.5. So both of these players.
Let's take a look.
Oh, and Alexei blundered an exchange.
Yeah, we just saw. Oh, wow.
Oh, my God. That's a
crazy.
big moment. And if Gata wins this game, he definitely qualifies.
All right.
But it's not over. I mean, this game is still, Alexei still has chances here, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
What a blunder. Knight c3, bishop d7. And he was looking at the wrong side of the board. He was like, okay, my knight's under the x-ray. Let's get it out of there. Whoop! Bishop comes out on the other side.
Possible on the previous move. Why here it's not possible?
Oh, it was? Oh, wait, how long has it been possible? Yeah, it was. They both missed it. They both missed it for 2 moves. Unbelievable. Honestly, unbelievable.
Yeah.
No, but now Alexi's improving his position. Gada's position is getting worse.
Oh yeah, he's gonna go knight f4, maybe knight h5, maybe knight d3 to e5.
Yeah.
Lots of ideas for white. Okay, he needs to be really careful because his bishop on d7 is kind of a worthless piece.
Alexi's going to pretend this is a sacrifice if he
brilliant
wins this game.
Positional exchange sacrifice, because I love those positional exchange sacrifices.
Oh, absolutely. Me too.
Yeah, grew up on the Petrosian exchange sac.
Yep. No, there are so many of those, and it's must reading for young players.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, nowadays it's What is reading?
No one reads books anymore.
Yeah. What are books in general, right?
Yeah. Okay. Knight d3 is still not really possible, but now how does white make this better? h4 is an interesting type of move to kind of prepare knight g5 ideas, but
knight h5 is also possible.
Queen g6.
So this is winning for white, apparently. Is there some sort of crazy tactic with queen f4? I don't know what it is. Oh my god, this is insane. Knight h4, and I admit I didn't find this on my own.
Yeah.
And if queen takes h5, the queen, look at this queen trap.
Oh man, I don't think they're gonna find that. That's a really tricky one.
That is insane. You don't even, you're staring at it and you still don't see it.
Right.
But the queen is actually
Knight h4
trapped.
is very unusual. Yeah.
Holy smokes, what an idea. I don't think he's finding that.
Yeah, that's very difficult.
And this is terrible for black just because white, actually queen h6 is much stronger. The queen's coming into f6.
Yeah, but he needs to find that, right? So he still hasn't. What's the current position, Danya?
The current position is this one. King h8 is on the board. So knight h5. Will he find this move? And if he doesn't find it, Irina, I agree. H4, and he plays h4 and offers a draw. Alexei offers a draw.
But does it give anything to Gata?
And Gata immediately takes it. He says,
wow,
my position has gotten a lot worse. Alexei thinks his tie breaks are good. We'll see if he's correct.
We don't know. So both of these players finish on 6 out of 9.
Yep.
And we don't know if they're going to qualify.
Well, there's definitely going to be more people. There's definitely going to be people with 6 out of 9 who don't qualify. That's a fact.
Yeah.
The question is, are their tie breaks going to put them among the top?
Yeah. So they decided to gamble. They basically decided to throw it up in the air, which doesn't really make a lot of sense given that their position was very much playable in the end and very unbalanced, right? Like, I don't feel like that was a great mathematical move.
I would argue that it makes sense for Gata because his position was getting worse.
Yeah, his position was deteriorating. Yes, I can understand him, but Rana, it was like the opposite. So
exactly. So Alexei might be kicking himself, but if he qualifies, then it turns out to have been a wise decision. So we will see. And remember that what you're seeing on the right side of your screen are not the current standings. The tie breaks will only update after the round is finished. So there might be changes that happen after the end of all of the games. So take these with a grain of salt.
Mm-hmm. And Li Kuang can still get to 6.5. He's a bit better against Oparin.
Okay, let's take a look at that game. Yeah, Li Kuang can still punch his ticket to 6.5.
It was a Nimzo, famous long theoretical Nimzo line. And looks pretty nice for white. I guess black wants to try to win the e4 pawn, or maybe try to go, rook d6, queen d6, queen e4. Even there's bishop at g2. But yeah, this is very unpleasant. Like I would really hate to be black in this position.
I can't draw arrows. Yeah, no, this is nasty. 2 bishops for white, and the active queen is black's only sort of, perk. But it's a nasty position for sure. How does white improve though? Is the question.
A5. I can improve over there on that side. You can drive your knight back somewhere.
But don't I have takes and knight c4?
And queen c6, you have rook c8.
Oh, but you can take.
Bishop takes. Do you have some? Okay, bishop takes. Queen.
I think I know. I think I can go back to e6 simply.
Oh, that's evil. Yeah.
And just king h7. You can't stop me. Oh my God, what a line.
Yeah. Okay. So I need to be
Light
a little
squares.
careful with my light squares. Yeah.
The light squares, and that's hard to see. And A5 has happened, and this is happening in Muller.
Wow.
O'Barron instantly plays it.
Oh, wow. Can we get those guys? Do we have those guys on camera? It would be nice to see some expressions now.
And Grigori Oparin with a devilish trick that we literally just examined.
Wow.
Lei Kwang Lim forgetting that the bishop can get to h3 unobstructed. It's over. Literally, there's nothing white can do.
Yeah, the king, I mean, king f1 loses. I suppose he can try it, but I mean, it's not going to work because then there's rook d8 and your king never escapes from anything.
Or rook c8 and but okay, king f1 here has to be tried.
King f1. So let's find the win, Danya.
Okay, I think I see it. I think you should go. Yeah, where is the win? Check
Bishop
on
h3, king e1, and
no,
that's
I think
not the win.
bishop g4, because queen h1 mate is the threat.
Okay.
Force the king back, and then you go bishop h3. Yeah,
That's pretty tricky.
It is all over, and Lei Kwang Lim with a massive howler in a good position.
Wow.
That's how quickly these games can turn around.
Yeah, and I was like feeling so comfortable about White's position, thinking nothing could go wrong.
King
It
f1
went wrong in the worst possible way. Will Oparin find bishop g4?
Oh, 100%. He's got so much time on his hands here. No doubt about it.
Well, let's see how quickly he finds it.
He probably sees it now. I think he's just double checking. This is a golden opportunity. Now, we don't know what his tie breaks are. He hasn't been doing particularly well this tournament, but this game could really improve. Oh, he repeats once. No, he missed it.
What?
He missed
That's
it. Bishop
incredible.
G4 is a mate. How does he miss Bishop G4? This is literally child's play.
Crazy.
Are you kidding? And this gives Lei Kwang Lim chances.
Yeah.
This gives Lei Kwang Lim chances.
Yeah. Well, that bishop g4 it is a little tricky,
No, but I mean, you're like, okay, the king has the e2 square. Let me prevent the king from getting there. Unbelievable oversight. Now, it's still probably winning for black. So this endgame is still probably winning. Oh, and it's mate again. It's mate again. This time, bishop c4 and queen a2. Oh, bishop c4 and queen a2.
Okay.
He's going to win. Yeah.
All right. Well, I did see another interesting game. And first of all, we have Sevion. Yeah, Sevion is winning, so maybe that's not the most interesting. Let's go to Grishuk Xiong. Let's go back to
Sevion is winning?
Yeah, he's winning, yeah.
Okay, let me just briefly look at his game. Oh, yeah, it's over. He literally just has extra passed pawn on d6.
And that means that he's going to get
make
to
a
6,
bid.
right?
He is going to get to... We will have a huge group with 6. You were proposing what other game?
Grishuk Xiong.
Grishuk, ooh, what a matchup. And Grishuk with 5.5. Jeffrey in a must-win scenario. But Jeffrey's actually not doing that badly. He's gotten Sasha down at 2 minutes.
That's right. I mean, there's no knockout blow yet for White. Of course, a very unusual position. Okay, queen e5 looks powerful, but maybe just rook g7.
1 second. Can't he play bishop takes c4?
Oh, bishop c... Wow.
Bishop c4, queen moves.
Queen c3.
Or queen b2.
Mm-hmm.
And then the question is, first of all, does White have any killer after you take the rook? And do you even have to take the rook there? I don't think you do.
You can take the rook, right? Wow, and it says black is better, so queen e5 was just a blunder.
Yeah, bishop takes c4 is the move, but will
yeah,
Jeffrey play it?
Definitely not the terrible rook g7, yeah. I was so concerned about that discovery, I was like willing to look at that very passive rook move.
This is a big moment. Jeffrey taking his time. Obviously, bishop takes c4 is a very scary move to play. But it appears that White has no effective discoveries with the knight.
Mm.
Oh.
Yeah, he'll find it because he has to find it because rook g7 just fails to like knight d7, so you can just resign there. So
yeah, exactly. You're not. Yeah, I mean, you might as well. It doesn't even. And the good thing about being in a must-win situation is like it doesn't even matter. Oh, and he doesn't play it. He plays knight takes b5, allowing Grishuk to step back with his knight. Oh my lands!
Not a good decision, yeah, because knight d5, that's a big move. That forces your rook to g7, then you just take the knight on b5 and you have a great position.
I think Jeffrey has reasonably good flagging chances, though, because Grishuk, he's fast, but he's got a minute and a half. We're still in the middle game. We're still in the middle game.
Oh, okay.
Sorry about that. That did not happen.
Yeah, it was like queen f4. That really changes things.
Oh, and here's, okay, CB. Bishop b3. All right. Queen c3. Bishop takes d1 is going to happen. The eval bar again creeping up in Black's favor after Grishuk failing.
So now big moments, right? Like, what does he do about this whole diagonal?
Well, I was thinking now maybe rook g7.
Yeah, it's incredible that something like rook d7 is not just killing you, isn't it?
It actually might be killing. Also, rook e1 is very nasty because the rook is heading to e8. You can't really give white the e-file. That's a problem. He plays rook takes a4.
Wow. Jeffrey
coming
is
out at
very
the other
brave.
side, incredibly brave. And Grishuk with a minute to negotiate these crazy complications. Knight takes d7 check, but now rook g7. Rook g7.
You got to do it. There's
The
no
knight's
chance yet.
pinned. The knight's pinned.
Wow. And he wants to go rook d4, actually, Danya. Rook d4 would be
Great
pretty much a
point.
winning move.
That's a huge threat. You have to play queen takes c5. I think Grishuk's going to lose this game. And after rook takes d7, you do get mated on f8. So queen takes c5 is literally the only chance for white. Grishuk's not seeing it. He's lost the thread completely here.
Danya, tell me, Grishuk, if he loses, does he just miss out on qualifying?
Completely. He's going to have 5.5, so he doesn't even have a chance with a loss. And he is
Wow.
going to lose. He's got 30 seconds now and counting.
So this is really big, and this puts a lot of pressure on him psychologically, too, to know that even a draw is like not necessarily a good result for him.
It's over. I mean, even if Jeffrey just goes rook d4, trades on d3, and then flags Grishuk easily in that resulting position.
Yeah.
It's all over. Rook takes d3, knight takes
Wow.
d3, just h6, king h7, for example. Get the rook out of the pin.
Yeah,
win the game.
Jeffrey brought some courage to this game for sure. I really like this.
To win on demand with Black against Alexander Grishuk, what haven't we seen in the RCC? That is ridiculously hard.
Yeah, and I mean, his position was so dangerous. He was staying in his discovered check for so long, and to keep your cool when your king is facing off against the queen on c3, that was really not trivial at all.
Not at all. And Grishuk is he's not showing emotion yet, but he will. Like once it settles on him that the game is over, he's going to show some frustration. Rook d7, for example, and queen d1 check and queen d. Okay, Jeffrey just offering a queen trade.
e5.
Don't miss the fork.
Queen e4.
Yeah, rook e7, rook d7. Oh, rook d1 check and queen a7, and it's over. Bang, bang,
Nice.
bang. Queen g7, Jeffrey missed it. Queen
He'll
a7.
find it now, yeah.
And Grishuk resigns, and he leans back, and Sasha Grishuk misses out on qualification. Jeffrey puts his name into the tiebreak lottery together with Gata Oparin, Sarana, and Sevian. And we still have Last Gladiator, and Jules Moussard's going to have 6.
Let's take a look at their game. Looks like Moussard is winning against Suleiman Lee. He's up in exchange.
He's completely winning. 40 seconds for both players, though, so still a little work required. Rook h6, I think.
Yeah,
Rook e6, mate.
Okay, knight b8.
It's over.
Yeah. Hard to get out of this one.
Okay, so Moussard is going to win. And that concludes, finally, the group of people with 6 out of 9. So 2 of them, I think, are going to miss out on qualification.
Yeah, it's very suspenseful. Who's going to make it into this top 8 today?
G3. Rook h2 is coming. The problem is that white has no counterplay against black's king.
Because you think the king will just go to like g8 or...
Well, I mean, you could get mated here somehow with a king and a knight Arabian mate construction. But he goes rook e3 check to prevent knight e6. Oh, there's another check and rook f... Okay, he takes d4.
Okay, so black's completely winning.
Easy peasy lemon squeezy here.
Yeah, and he's got a few extra seconds. Should be enough. Although, I don't know, the king is kind of creeping a little closer.
It is. I mean, you always have to be careful. Anytime you're playing against a knight, Okay, I would have gone rook d5 and just cut that out of there. Okay, just queen. Yeah, it's over.
Okay, so yeah, he's gonna win.
He's gonna win on time, although incredible defense by Suleimanli. You can blunder your queen here. You got to be careful.
Yeah, you do.
And there it is. And the tournament is over. That was the last game of the tournament. Here we go. Drum roll, please, ladies and gentlemen. And Jules Moussard makes it in with that win. And the people who miss out, Gregorio Parnis had such bad luck over the last couple of weeks in the CGC. He misses out on qualification.
But
and
you know
Alexi Serrana as well.
Yes, that's what I wanted to note, Danya, that draw against Gadakamsky in the last round where he had every chance to keep on playing, he loses out by one spot. It's quite sad, but that's often how it works, you know?
It was a bad decision. His position was improving. And Gadakamsky, well, that was a good decision for him. I love seeing him in the top 8. And it is official. You can see on the right-hand side of your screen, Hans Niemann, Noterbeck, Hikaru Fabiano, Samuel Sevin, Jeffrey Zhang makes it in with that win against Sasha Grishuk. Gadakamsky and Jules Moussard will face Fabiano in the first round. But before we review, as we assemble our bracket, we want to examine the critical moment, the Coinbase critical moment of the day. And we wanted to do a game that was particularly interesting, Irina. It was a game between Parham Maksudlu, and I believe his opponent was Samuel Sevin.
Yeah,
is that correct?
Yep.
Let me pull that game up. Let me pull that incredible moment up. Now, this was a game that really defined the course of the tournament. Samuel Sevin makes it into the top 8, but how does he do it? He does it on the heels of a very lucky moment. Irina, talk us through the incredible resource that Parham Maksudlu missed in this position.
Yeah, so Black has a way to organize his 3 pieces into an unstoppable attack on the white king, and it starts with the move knight e3 check. Now, the king has the h3 square, or you can take the knight. If you take the knight, it's a pretty simple checkmate on f1, so we're using a deflection tactic to pull the queen away from f1, but the tactics don't stop there, because if king h3 is played, it actually requires one more cool deflection move by Black to get that queen h5 checkmate, so you got to go rook e1. And now the white queen is trapped. She cannot continue protecting the h5 square. You pull her away, and then Black gets the checkmate they were looking for.
Black gets the checkmate, a beautiful combination missed by Maksudlu. Instead, rook c2 allowed the knight to deflect the pin. Sevin flags him and ultimately qualifies to the top 8. Ladies and gentlemen, that was your Coinbase critical moment. And as we transition from that into the bracket, which we now have assembled, Fabiano will face off against 8th seed Jules Moussard, who's happy to be there. Hikaru on the top right side of your screen against Gadakamsky Irina. What a matchup we have for us tomorrow.
Oh, yeah. There's so many good matchups here. I mean, we have the matchup of the young players, Hans Niemann and Sam Sevian. We have Jeffrey Xiong and Abdusatorov. And of course, I think my favorite is Hikaru Nakamura, Gadakamsky, 2 legendary American players. And I got to say, Danya, this was a very good day for America. 6 players out of 8 from the U.S. qualifying to the top spots. And yeah, hopefully the American team will have such good luck at the Olympiad.
Yeah, absolutely. The American team is heading over to India. You're heading to India very soon. And today we saw an amazing Saturday Swiss. The stage is set for an epic finale tomorrow. And as the tournament nears its conclusion, we want to remind you, there are 10 points for first place on the line. The top 12 players in terms of Grand Prix points make it into the final. That will be coming your way at the end of August. The round of 16, the first part of the RCC finals. It starts August 18th. The finals go over August 18th, 19th, and the 20th, and the finals are on 21st. So August 18th to 21st, mark it in your calendar. You will not want to miss the incredible finale of the RCC. But for now, it is time for us to wrap up our coverage of the Saturday Swiss. Irina, your final thoughts on what we saw today.
Yeah, I think we saw how important it is to continue playing fighting chess until the end, not leave things up to tie breaks, up to chance. And when you have a chance to keep playing for the win, you got to do it.
You got to do it indeed, and we will see if Hikaru and Fabiano can make their way to the finals tomorrow. For now, Irina, a pleasure commentating with you as always, And I'd like to thank everybody in the chat, our producer Matt, for another flawless broadcast. Ladies and gentlemen, tomorrow is the Sunday Knockout. It starts at the same time, 12 p.m. Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific. And for now, Grandmaster Daniel Naroditsky, Grandmaster Irina Krush, bidding you a great rest of your Saturday here at the Rapid Chess Championship presented by Coinbase. We will see you tomorrow.
The Rapid Chess Championship is brought to you by Coinbase. Whether you're looking to make your first crypto purchase or you're an experienced trader, Coinbase has you covered. You can earn crypto by learning about crypto at Coinbase.com. Explore DeFi and Web3 with your Coinbase wallet. Get exclusive rewards when you spend with your Coinbase card and much, much more. Learn more at Coinbase.com/chess and get $10 in Bitcoin when you sign up and verify your account. Check them out. Use the command sponsor or command Coinbase today and go to Coinbase.com to get that Bitcoin, baby.